Hello and welcome to Backwind Podcast, the podcast where anything goes. I am Chris.
I am Dale, as usual.
I'm Ollie.
Fantastic. What are you laughing at?
He finds that really funny, his name.
Just,
Giggly.
I'm just in the mood.
For love. Fair enough. And so, we're going to try something different for this podcast today. We're actually going to go over a couple of conspiracies that we've talked about over the weeks. And we've mentioned it on a couple of podcasts before, saying about different ones we really want to focus on, like a whole episode. So we're going to have two. And we actually have somebody else to help us with these conspiracies. Welcome, Jess.
Thank you very much.
I thought I got your name wrong then. I don't know what I thought. I'm going to get a name wrong.
Jeff is fine. No.
Jeff?
So you're
Yeah.
Jeff, yeah. You can be Jeff. That's cool. So, come on then, Ollie.
Be whoever you
Jump into it.
Well, I've got a list of very loose notes that I just sort of did YouTube research on this morning.
Yes.
So
it's very late.
What is the main conspiracy? Like, what would you call it?
Well, I'm going to be talking about the Sandy Hook shooting conspiracy.
Why is that so funny?
I don't know. what
Ollie's
it's
got
gonna
the
do.
giggles.
Yeah, I'm not feeling too prepared. Basically, I just want to do a little bit of a disclaimer before we get started, in that I don't believe any of this is the truth. It's just something I enjoy reading about because I think it's interesting to think that the official story isn't the real story. Yeah, so I'm not saying
So
any
not
of
saying
this is what
it's
I
true
believe.
or
It's just
not.
things that people do believe that I find interesting to look at.
Okay, cool.
Okay.
Pass the time.
But yeah, exactly. This is pretty much the majority of what I do. Right, so Sandy Hook. This is what actually happened according to the official story.
Okay.
I'm going to be reading.
Who's this from?
This is just from what the
This is what was released
what
on
the
the news.
authorities would have you believe happened about the Sandy Hook shooting.
Okay.
On December 14th, 2012, Adam Lanza went to the Sandy Hook Elementary School in Newtown, Connecticut, and shot and killed more than 20 people, mostly students and a few adult members of staff. He then killed himself. He was 20 years of age, and he got the guns he used from his mother's collection. He was said to have suffered from certain personality disorders, such as Asperger's syndrome, excuse the pause, OCD, and a sensory integration disorder, which is basically finding it hard to cope with complex sensory input. So if there's too much sound going on or too much visual stimulation, he got a bit freaked out. As a result of this, he was given medication to help with these issues. So that's the official story of what happened.
Mm-hmm.
When did it happen?
It happened in 2012
Okay.
on December 14th, so just before Christmas.
Okay.
Okay. I don't know where to go next.
I'm not Sandy Hook.
Yeah, no, I wouldn't want to go. Oh, actually, I wouldn't mind going there. It looks like a lovely town.
So, okay. So why was it a conspiracy? You know, what prompted the conspiracy? What started, like, this isn't real?
I'm not sure what started the investigation into why it might not be real, but the majority of things surrounding like gun crime instances in America, people think that the government are trying to take control of the guns off the population, so they want to like put on staged events where people get shot, so the government can then say guns aren't safe, we need to recall all your guns, which will then leave the population defenseless for when the FEMA people finally come and sweep through and try and take over America and kill off all the people. This is the...
It's deep.
I didn't know it went that
It's
deep.
deep. Oh yeah, it's deep. At least that's what I understand
Yeah.
about why people are worried about stuff like this. But there's a bunch of evidence, or I'm going to put evidence in quotations, as to why people think the Sandy Hook shooting wasn't real, which I've sort of tried to put in some sort of chronological order here, but I'm not sure how well it's going to go.
Okay.
So, photo and video evidence. There was no photographic evidence or video evidence of any shooting happening in the school. There was no blood. There were no dead bodies shown. Even on the news, there was, like, you could see, there's aerial footage of like helicopters circling in the sky, and you can see things on the floor, like the ambulances and the tarps that they would use to help injured people.
Yeah.
Okay.
Nothing. There's no injured people around. The tarps are just laid out.
But why?
No evidence of.
Yeah, go on.
Go on.
The news wouldn't show that, surely, didn't?
You'd show
They
some.
show some
Yeah.
horrific stuff.
Yeah. Okay.
I mean, like with the Boston bombings and stuff, there was footage and images of like blood-soaked people and limbs blown off and everything like
Is
that.
it different because it's kids?
Well, I don't know. There was nothing to be seen anyway, apparently, because any footage from the helicopters wasn't showing any. They were showing the area.
The area,
but
and
no
it all closed off,
casualties.
and
Yeah, no
the
casualties.
amount of cars around and everything.
So there was nothing to be seen which would
If-
indicate that it was a real event.
if I remember correctly, wasn't there like, there was just like lots of police cars, no like ambulances on site. Was that correct?
Yeah, I think they kept the ambulances away from the main school or something like that. So
But why would you need to do that?
Exactly. If there was like a school shooting, you'd want to get in there, get the police in there, stop the shooting, and get anyone who was injured away to whatever hospital you needed.
But did
to
they
do.
know that the guy was dead?
I don't know how you could unless you went in and saw.
Well, maybe that's why they didn't send in an ambulance
Yeah.
Let me see what you mean.
and police.
Okay. Yeah.
Well, the real reason they didn't send an ambulance is because there was no one injured to go and rescue, because it was all a big hoax.
Supposedly.
End of.
Supposedly.
Case closed.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, so any crime scene footage that was released of the incident didn't look chaotic in the slightest. It looked like there was a drill going on, which a lot of people have said that they'd actually found evidence of planning, that there was a drill scheduled
going
for
on
that day.
Yeah. Yeah, I
Yeah.
remember that.
So the idea is that there was an actual drill, and the footage that we saw on the news of
Was part of
what
that drill.
happened was just purely drill footage. There was no
Interesting.
real shooting. There were a couple of photos of kids being evacuated, again in inverted commas, but pretty much it was just a handful of kids walking somewhere. You didn't see them coming out of the school or going to safety. There was just like one photo of about 6 kids being led off. So there was no like to or from. You couldn't gauge where they were going. There was aerial shots of people. This was an interesting video I saw of people milling around one of the buildings in the area, and the people who had made the YouTube video analysing it showed that it was just the same people circling the building for about 15 minutes. And he just highlighted that they weren't going anywhere, they weren't doing anything. It just looked as though they'd been told to be in this area.
Yeah.
It was kind of like they were setting up to see how they would react to that many people in one area in an emergency.
Like a drill.
Like a drill.
Yeah.
Yeah. So these people didn't have a purpose, they were just wandering around aimlessly.
Sorry, can you go back to how many died?
Supposedly, I've
20?
written here more than 20, but I read this morning it was 27. Most of them were kids, and I think there was 3 adults.
Okay.
And he shot himself apparently as well.
28.
So 28. Oh, I'm not sure if he was including 27. He also killed his mother before he went to the school.
What?
Yeah, well,
Supposedly.
killed. Don't worry,
Okay.
Dale, none of it's real.
Yeah, but I've not heard that part, so that's why I was surprised at that.
And the name of the guy who...
It's Adam Lanza.
Adam Lanza, okay.
You should find some photos of him because he looks... Well, I'll get onto this now in my extensive notes. Where was I? There were certain photos released of Adam Lanza that were clearly photoshopped. You can find those as well. There's ones that they put on the news to show who he was. And there's 2 photos you can see where the background's been changed, but the exact same hand pose and everything, it's the same photo, just they've changed the background. Why would you do that?
Yeah.
Why not just
Why
use a
would you
photo
need
of
to
it?
do that,
You
yeah.
wouldn't need to change anything. But it seems like they found this one image of this guy and they've tried to claim that they've got loads of different images when they've just photoshopped him into different backgrounds and stuff like that.
And this was released all over the news. That's just different pictures of him in the backgrounds. Okay.
Yeah, and I mean, they were exactly the same. His body posture, his expression were identical.
Okay.
I don't feel
I'll
like
look
this is
at-
going very well. Just explaining a bunch of nonsense.
This is a very more somber podcast than we've
Yeah,
done.
yeah, we'll get into it.
Oh.
We'll make some jokes about it.
Thanks.
Oh, goody.
I would feel awful if it was true. And
Yes.
the thing is, if I ever met somebody who claimed to be from there and they said my child was killed in a mass shooting, I wouldn't be like, you liar, you fucker.
Yeah.
Obviously.
You'd say it behind their back.
Yeah, exactly. There was photos of one of the supposed victims, Emily Parker, as well, who was supposedly a little girl who had got shot there, in which she was clearly photoshopped into certain family photos. And the analysis of these photos showed things like perfectly straight lines on parts of her hair, which apparently when you take photos you'll never get.
You never get that,
because obviously
The
your
flow
hair
of
is
it,
just as it is.
Fabulous.
But yeah. Yeah, clearly. So they took that as evidence that these photos had been photoshopped because you had perfectly straight lines where people had cut her out and put her into these things. And there's a weird photo you can see where it's like all of her family. I think there's the parents, 2 of her sisters, and they're like sat in front of a field with the sunset behind them, and they're all sort of cuddling in. And then you see this one little girl, Emily, who's sort of just tacked onto the right hand side of it. And the theory is that... What was the theory? The theory is
She wasn't really there.
that she wasn't killed, and that it was an old photo taken, and then when one of those little girls had grown up, they'd taken a photo of her there and put her back into the old photo as like her older sister. Yeah. So that was weird. Again, these have been analysed by experts who have said that these photos.
By experts, do you mean YouTubers?
YouTubers, yeah.
People like Ollie.
People like
I
Ollie.
looked at it and it looked fishy, so I definitely not real. There was one photo released. Oh, this was an interesting one. There was one photo released of a little girl who was reported to be a victim that turned out to be a picture that was taken off the internet, and it was of a little girl that lived in the UK. And her mother saw the photo and was like, hang on, that's my daughter.
Okay.
And all that had happened is a news source in America had stolen a photo and put it up as one of the victims. That's
Why
disgusting.
would you do that?
They do that though. They never check their sources.
Yeah.
But how horrible.
But I think not
That's happened-
excused, but stuff like that.
That's happened on more than one occasion. I've got an example. Ian Watkins, the
drunk.
the ex-singer of Lost Prophets.
Not from Steps.
Not from Steps, but the Daily. Was it the Daily Mail? I can't remember who it was, but they uploaded a picture of him from Steps.
Yeah.
And said convicted paedophile.
Yeah.
Ooh.
So
that's-
they don't, they
yeah.
haven't checked their sources. So that's just
Don't you
news
think
jumping on the
that-
bandwagon.
Don't you think that makes the news untrustworthy though?
Well,
I'd
no, I
say
just
so.
think that
It is.
I just think it's sloppy.
Yeah.
Well, yeah,
It
but
is in
it's
general.
also sloppy and very lazy.
The news is just gossip.
The
It's
thing
like
is,
Chinese whispers.
the thing is,
So-
if you're going to report that somebody's being killed, you should have the correct image to
Yeah.
go with it.
Yeah, but-
Because this mum in the UK apparently was like, hang on, that's my daughter. She's alive and well. She's here, and that led to this whole thing about the news being untrustworthy.
I understand that. I just think it's. I just think it's sloppy. I just think it's bad journalism. Someone was rushed by their editor to say you've got to get this, you've got to get that. She's like, fine, I'll get a picture from somewhere
That
else.
Find
person
any
should
little
still be
brunette.
fired.
You
though.
see TV shows like it, like how rushed they always are. They're there to push the big story or whatever it was, and they were jumping on. I don't want to say jumping on the bandwagon actually, but you know what I mean. Everyone wanted to report about it, and every news outlet or news station want to get the exclusive story, so they will do anything.
Yeah, I don't think
That's pathetic.
It is, but that's not to say the Sandy Hook thing didn't happen. That's a whole different thing. That's the news being idiots.
Maybe the news is a conspiracy.
The
Well, I
Sandy
think-
Hook thing could have happened.
Yeah, exactly.
Bill's blown the lid off it.
Yeah. Done. Mic drop.
Yeah.
Just walk out. 15 minutes done.
Well, that's it, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah. It's all right.
Thanks for
Thanks
listening.
for listening.
Dale's cracked it.
Like I broke
Deja vu.
Deja Vu.
Yeah.
I also broke the news. And conspiracies.
So yeah. Anyway, I thought that was disgusting. It makes the news entirely untrustworthy.
Oh yeah, I agree.
That's not. But again, I argue the point. That's not to say Sandy Hook didn't happen.
I want you to give evidence of why it did. Then in a minute.
Yeah.
I'm looking for it now.
You
Yeah.
Okay.
You got to have a counter argument.
It's true.
No, you should just take what I say as
No, I
gospel.
really should.
It worked for like.
Well, people
Jesus.
do that for the news.
Yeah.
Whatever they hear on the news,
Exactly.
they take it as
It's all
the
edited
truth.
in an editing
Those
booth.
all your notes.
not.
No, not all of them. I got like 10 pages more.
So is this? I think I remember you saying that there was either a picture of a teacher that was included in this story, but she was actually in the. There was another school shooting that she happened to be at.
That wasn't a teacher, but
Okay.
there apparently there's one woman that can be seen in like 3 separate
School
either school shootings or bombings. Like this one
Okay.
woman was in the Sandy Hook area, she was in the Boston bombing area, and people have said that it's the exact same woman. And how unlucky would you have to be
I
at
know,
all
it's
these
yeah.
catastrophes? So the idea behind that is that they get actors in,
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
they call crisis actors, and they and they're employed to sort of like be an innocent bystander who saw things.
Well, if that's
Drama
true,
students.
that would be
So, yeah.
sloppy as well.
Terribly sloppy. But that's the thing. I think people, like you said, you believe the news
You believe
because
the news,
it's
and you,
presented as true.
yeah,
Yeah.
you don't expect people to analyze such a horrific event
Yeah.
to notice things, small things like that.
I think, as we were saying before, it's like not so much what is worse, but like if it actually happened, obviously that is absolutely awful and really upsetting. But if it was faked, and why doesn't that's purely gotta be just as bad? I would say.
I don't
do you know what I mean?
see. Because if it was faked, it means that nobody actually got
Well,
killed.
no one got
So
killed.
therefore
But
there's no
why
loss
would you
of
just
life.
say that all these people have just got killed and everything like that? Like, why would you? Why would you need to make that story?
Yeah, it just
Do you know
means it means governments are untrustworthy, news sources are
Yeah.
untrustworthy, which I find
Trust
incredibly
yourself,
interesting.
everyone.
Yeah,
Don't trust anyone.
go by your gut feeling.
Yeah,
I don't
but
trust
again,
anyone right
I go back to the point. It doesn't prove that Sandy Hook didn't happen.
Well, there's no proof. Well, there is proof.
Well, okay,
but it depends. I think it depends which way you come at it.
Yeah, we
Either you
talk about this
believe in the
being
official.
sloppy. But surely, if this was a conspiracy and this was a cover-up, they would do a much better job. If they would really want this.
This is what I was saying earlier in the car. With conspiracy theories, I think, like, surely whoever's behind it wouldn't just assume people are that stupid.
Yeah.
So, like, with 9/11 and this, it's just like, do they really think people wouldn't notice or deconstruct it to find out the truth?
Exactly. Yeah.
So, I don't know.
That's what I have a problem with. Is if it is such a conspiracy, why do such a lazy-ass job about it?
Mm-hmm.
Go on.
What was that one about the news reporter who got shot on camera?
Oh, yeah.
That one was like, I saw the footage for that as well, and
Yeah,
that
you
was,
showed us the video of that, and even though I was a bit like,
That was-
that's weird.
It's sketchy, isn't it?
Yeah.
That was a different one. That was in.
Oh, yeah,
I
yeah, I
can't
know it's
remember
not
where
this,
that was,
but-
but that was the one where you saw the news reporter get shot, like on the shooter's phone. He was filming it all,
Yeah.
and you saw him fire off like 4 or 5 bullets, and she just didn't seem to be hit at
Yeah.
all. Yeah, that
It's
was
just-
bizarre.
Yeah. Again, don't trust anything. Don't,
Don't
trust,
trust
the
what you
news.
see.
It's news, though.
Exactly.
But again, this is all a conspiracy, and there's no hard evidence that there was.
Well, there
Fake.
are certain things that happen again, which I'll
Okay.
get onto now, which are a bit more hard evidence than things like
Hmm.
news footage seemed like it wasn't actually.
Let me
real.
say, I'm not discounting your theories, because I think I'm like you on this. I'm not sure if I believe it or not, but I just like to remain on the humanity side and feel something for the victims if it were true.
Oh
I
yeah,
want to look at both sides of the coin, as it were.
I
And
understood. There were the certain videos. Do you remember I showed you the Robbie Parker ones where he was doing the press conference and
Was this the
before?
doctor?
Yes.
No, this was
No.
the parent of Emily Parker, who was apparently
yes,
shot.
Yes.
And before he came up to the podium, he
Yeah.
was laughing. Have you seen that?
Yes.
He was
He was
having
laughing
he
and
was really
joking.
like big smiley
Yeah, he was like
and having a laugh at someone.
Yeah, making a little joke, and then he got to the podium where the camera was, and he went crying face, and he somberly said, "My daughter
you saw it, yeah.
was killed yesterday."
Yeah.
But before,
That is amazing acting.
Yeah, I know,
I
right?
believed you then.
That's honestly
I could
that's
be a
honestly what it
crisis
looked
actor.
like. You could see it
he
yourself.
switched. He
Yeah.
was laughing and joking.
He literally
And people
gave-
have said, people who are like, yeah, but that doesn't mean he didn't lose his daughter. People handle grief differently, blah, blah, blah. That was fishy to
Yeah.
me. He
Oh,
looked
yeah.
bizarre. And I'll show you all these videos later.
Okay, I probably should have seen them beforehand,
Yeah, I
but
know.
that's cool.
You're in
That's
for a
cool.
treat, honestly.
Thanks.
So there was Robbie Parker laughing, which is evidence towards the crisis actor thing. Like, he wasn't feeling real grief that his daughter had just died yesterday.
'Cause
He was just there to say,
Mhm.
Because it wasn't his daughter?
or because it wasn't anyone. Nobody
Because
died.
no one
Apparent.
died.
Okay.
Apparently. There was the coroner, Wayne Carver, who was, during his press conference where he was talking about the guns that were used in the shooting, he was
He didn't
laughing
have-
and joking.
And he didn't have a clue what was on about
Didn't
sometimes.
have a clue what he was on about. He looked like he was just there spouting nonsense.
Random bits of yeah, he kept repeating himself as well, I believe.
Yeah.
For different questions.
Yeah, and making loads of jokes and
Yeah.
laughing and stuff.
Yeah,
like
you
you
could see him laughing.
even if you felt that way after even if you had
How-
no
yeah.
sort of
Like, emotional
Um,
connection.
yeah, you would still, if you were on the news, present yourself in a professional
manner. Yeah.
If he's never been on the news,
Well,
You
no, but he
couldn't
would have.
say,
If he was the
yeah.
coroner for that
No.
county, he would probably be the one who was handling any who was handling any sort of violent crimes in that area.
Mm.
Any deaths that were suspicious, he would be, as chief coroner,
But
he would be
they-
the one.
Well, they would have media training.
Yeah.
I would assume that most kind of people in, fire brigade, whatever, would have media training to communicate.
mm.
So, yeah, again, to be professional. So, if he was cracking jokes,
Yeah,
something
which he
real
was.
there. Okay.
He looks like me in like 20 years' time
you know
as well.
what, I don't think he was cracking jokes. He was just really awkward, and then saying something and laughing at an inappropriate moment. It wasn't like he wasn't making a joke. Went, that's funny, isn't it? He was. Do you know what I mean? He was.
He was doing
he
a
didn't-
stand-up routine.
In my
you know?
opinion, for that, the wrong time to do stand up. I just think he was very socially awkward. I mean, he's a coroner, for God's sake. I'm not going to be those social people.
He's used
They're
to
hanging out with dead
people. Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Angelina Jolie used to be a coroner.
Did you really? How do you know that?
That was her first profession, apparently.
Really?
At what age? How old is she now?
That's as far as my knowledge goes about that.
Your face dropped there. It's like, give us Angelina
I
Jolie.
I have not got a clue.
Make it up. We
Yeah,
don't know.
she's 12.
Oh.
No,
She's
I
12
got a clue.
now, as
She's
she
12
was
now.
when she was
Yep,
coroner.
and she was 13 when she was a coroner. I don't know. Bloody hell, have a look.
Benjamin Button. She's
Yeah.
married to him.
Yeah, exactly. There you go. Conspiracy.
The conspiracy.
No, okay.
Big.
So
Right.
apparently, yeah, that was her first profession was a coroner.
Okay. The other, the major thing that just looked completely unrealistic was Gene Rosen, the guy who had the kids delivered to his front garden.
This is a different story.
I remember that one now. Again, looked like a crisis actor as well.
He was unbelievably weird. He kept, on the news, every report that I saw of him, he was saying the same story over and over again, but really overacting it. And there was one video that I watched, again, it's all YouTube research, where it looked like he was running lines, and there was a guy filming him just on a phone camera, and this Gene Rosen guy was sort of saying they were on the lawn, they kept saying my teacher's dead, there's blood everywhere, and then he sort of pauses and he's like, and the guy who's holding the camera prompts him, he's like, yeah, and then he's like, oh yeah, okay. So it looks as though he's rehearsing lines. And every interview I saw with Gene Rosen was just bizarre. It looked like he was just a terrible actor, and people who had looked into him afterwards found out that he was part of the screen, or he was in amateur dramatics or something like that, which is totally evidence as to him being a big phony.
Okay.
I can't remember.
Do you
What have you found?
Do you think, though, again, this is me trying to look at the other side of things, that, like you said, they were given notes and all that. But that's given notes by TV people or TV officials for families who have just lost their children to say, look, just say this and you'll be okay. You know, they're giving them lines, otherwise they will break down. They will just collapse on TV. And I mean, yes, that is more real, and why you wouldn't show that, I don't know. But you're hardly going to want to say words, are you, when, you know, you've just lost your child or your family or whatever. So it's like, look, just say this and then you can carry on. I don't know, but
Have you ever seen heartfelt pleas for missing children though, where you get the parents on, they're like, please just come back, call us. They're so emotional and they're so overcome with grief, but they show that on the TV. But none of these people I saw looked like they were.
But maybe because
bothered.
it was such a huge kind of story, they couldn't just go on TV and say whatever. They had to have, not necessarily a script, but maybe because they didn't know enough to actually, talk about it properly. They had to say certain things so they didn't, panic everyone.
Whose side are you on, Jess?
I'm on anyone's side.
You're either with me or you're
listening.
against me.
yeah, can we go back to your point, Dale? I don't think she was a coroner.
No, I think no, hold on.
Most importantly.
If I remember now, I think it
You
was
made it up?
she either no. I think she wanted to be a coroner, or
Okay.
I can't
I
remember.
don't trust
my mum told me,
anything.
Okay.
she read her biography.
I'll keep digging.
Yeah, I don't know. I just make shit up.
We all believed you, so
Yeah, exactly. There you go.
It's true when
I
you
am the news right now.
yeah.
Okay. I am the news. Don't listen to me.
Okay, I'll just zip through the rest of the stuff. These are other little oddities that I noticed while I was looking into it. Apparently the parents weren't allowed to identify the bodies, so the parents weren't allowed in to see their children to say their final goodbyes.
Yeah.
No one knows why. From what the news said, it went straight from being shot in the school to funerals.
And the parents said that?
That was it. The parents said that, and that was what was reported in the news.
But you just said the parents weren't, it was all fake.
Yeah, exactly. The parents are all actors, and in this model of the way things went down, everyone is an actor. So there were no dead children.
But why would you say? Why was we couldn't identify our children? Again, this just puts leaks and plot holes in the thing, which would make conspiracy theorists go.
If they're telling the truth, why wouldn't they be allowed to see their children? You'd want to say goodbye, wouldn't you?
Maybe they were in such a bad state.
The kids.
Yeah, if they've been
Suppose
shot,
their
if they were
faces
shot
shot
in the face, yeah. What gun did he use?
Apparently he used, this is the next point actually, Jess. Good segue.
So, because if it was a shotgun, I don't think they could have identified them.
Apparently the guns he used were, I think it was 3 long guns, which were like shotguns, an AR-15 assault rifle, and then he had handguns on him as well. And some military... It's also vague. Some military sources said that Adam Lanza was a tiny 120-pound man, but it was reported that he was able to carry multiple weapons around the school as well as ammunition as he went through and shot people, and had a 96% kill ratio, meaning that 96% of the people that he shot actually were killed, leaving only one person injured. The rest of the people he shot were all killed. Some military experts say that it's impossible for a man of that stature. What have you found?
I was going to let you carry on then.
Apparently it was an impossibility that a man of his size could have carried all those weapons and gone through and killed all those people with such precision. They were like, that's like high level military personnel.
If he was running on adrenaline though.
Have you ever shot a gun? Anyone
No, I
ever
haven't
shot a gun?
actually, and
Ever
I want
fired
to.
a gun?
Nerf
I
gun.
fired
Paintball
a
gun.
shotgun. We went clay pigeon shooting.
Wow, okay.
It is hard.
Yeah.
It is so tricky to hit anything. Like,
That's why
I'm
it's
assuming-
Because they gave you a plastic gun.
I'm assuming you didn't hit anything.
I hit a
Just
couple
as
of
prompt.
clay pigeons, but it certainly wasn't a 96% kill ratio.
No,
You better work on
It was
that.
more like a
no
6%
achievement
kill
unlocked,
ratio.
nothing was it?
No achievement unlocked like that. But also, people have said that his behavioural issues with like the sensory overload would have meant that he probably would have just caved due to all the sounds of the guns going
And
off, the
screaming.
children screaming, any sights of blood or people falling on the floor would have been too much for his brain to handle, and he would have freaked out. Yeah, because this is what he was diagnosed with as a kid, why he was on the medication, and so forth. And all of this apparently occurred in less than 10 minutes from start to finish. 10 minutes was how long it took for him to kill all the people in the school and then turn the gun on himself. And then that's when police.
How long,
went in.
sir?
10 minutes.
10 minutes.
Less than 10 minutes.
Okay.
Reporting of the weapons was varied, some reports claiming more weapons than others. Video footage of police handling a weapon found in the boot of Lanza's car without gloves, which would be completely ignoring standard procedure. Apparently there was footage of this guy, a police, like sheriff or whatever, finding a gun in the boot of the car and just picking it up and ejecting the rounds without putting any gloves on or anything like that, which would have completely ruined any forensic evidence of whose gun it was and such. And the last little things I found interesting this morning was foreknowledge of the event. There were reported tweets being sent out about the event before it began. Yeah, what?
No, carry on.
The Sandy Hook School Fund appeared in Google searches a few days before the event actually happened. Why was that there? Why would there be a fund page for an event that hadn't actually happened yet? That was bizarre.
Not just a general
No,
give us money.
yeah, specifically for this, for like the parents of Sandy Hook.
Okay.
That was set up days before it happened.
Google had it logged in their search
Thanks.
caches or whatever a couple of days before the whatever the day was. 14th. Caches.
Cash.
I thought it was cash, yeah.
Caches.
Cache.
Got an E on
That's
there.
a very
If
pop.
from Barry, so.
Yeah, I'm trying to sound posher than I am.
The caches. The Google
Touche.
caches.
Yeah.
Touche.
I'm trying to keep up with the Panathians.
Keep trying.
Facebook memorial pages were set up a couple of days before as well, and there was one specifically for Victoria Soto, who was the teacher that was supposedly killed. There was a Facebook memorial page for her set up a couple of days before. And that was it.
Yes,
All
not
my
a lot,
evidence.
then.
No, not a lot. But
That's
some
interesting.
bizarre anomalies that you wouldn't
And
expect
there's proof
to see.
that they were set up a few days before.
Yeah,
So it
unfortunately,
wasn't like a screen grab where they just changed the date on Photoshop.
No, unfortunately, I don't have this information to hand because I didn't prep that well. But you can find evidence. Again, it's all YouTube research. There's nothing.
Well, yeah.
It could be all lies from the people who are making these videos. But they go through
Could
and
be.
they show you dates of when they showed up in Google search engines, and there's like photo discrepancies as well. So it would say like date created on the photo was a couple of days before the actual event happened.
Okay. Well, if you send me the links, then I'll pop them in the description.
Yeah,
of,
I will. There's
online.
one video you can see. It's called "Let's Talk About Sandy Hook," and it's about 2.5 hours long. That's what I was
Well,
trying to
I'll
skim
link-
through today.
Right. Okay. Well, I'll link. I'll link.
Yeah, like this.
Yeah, yeah, and it's an in-depth analysis of like the weird things that happened, which lead people to believe it wasn't a real.
So what happened to Adam Lanza?
He killed himself by all accounts
In the school?
in the school.
So Adam Lanza was real.
Again, people think that the the
No,
official.
sorry, I should rephrase. What do you think happened to Adam Lanza if he was real and whatnot?
Me personally.
Yes.
Me personally. I
Or
don't
the
really have
theory
a-
is what, he never died.
No, the theory is that they sort of created this character of Adam Lanza, and they just took a kid that was a bit of a social outcast and built him up to be this murderer. I don't know whether they think he actually did go into the school, because again, there was no evidence displayed of anyone shot.
Wasn't his mum supposed to like teach him how to use guns? Was
Yeah.
that it?
She had a big arsenal.
Really?
Supposedly, and she'd taken him through some target practice. But the official report says that he was found dead in the school with a bulletproof vest and dressed in military gear.
How did he kill himself?
Apparently with his 9 or 10 millimeter pistol.
And there was no his body wasn't recovered.
I don't know about that, I'm afraid. I
Okay.
couldn't tell you.
Story's wearing thin now.
I think he's just bored.
Yeah, Dale. Angelina Jolie wanted to be a funeral director, so very close to.
Okay, there we go.
being
I knew
a coroner.
something about it.
Something about dead people.
Yeah.
Yeah, so there you go.
I got something nearly right.
Well, you were there. You were nearly there. It was all
Yeah.
good. So yeah, I just thought I'd bring that up.
Cool.
I feel satisfied.
Yeah.
It takes away from my bullshit description of what happened at Sandy Hook.
Well, again, like with conspiracy videos and stuff, obviously that video is making you believe that it's all fake,
Yeah.
so you don't get both sides of that story.
It's propaganda and all.
It is, yeah. Well, the news is propaganda in itself, because can you believe it or not?
Yeah, this is
You
why
know.
I think people who come from it from different perspectives, like, I want to believe this stuff is fake because it makes my worldview more interesting. Whereas I think
It's also a horrible world.
no more horrible than people actually shooting kids in a school. I think it's like 9/11. Either way you look at it, 3,000 people died on the day. Yeah.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter to me who did it.
It
Really?
was wrong either
No,
way.
it doesn't.
It's wrong
matter.
either way,
Those
yeah.
people died. It would be more interesting, in my opinion, if it was a conspiracy than if it was just terrorists hijack planes.
Okay.
Yeah.
I gotta say, I do not read newspapers, and I do not even watch the news at all.
Me
I
either,
don't.
yeah.
I don't follow the news. If anyone says anything to me, I barely even listen. Just because in general, just because I don't really need to. I don't really need to worry myself over it.
Is
No.
he
Do
steady?
you know what I mean? I just don't care.
No, yeah.
No, it's not that I
Those
don't care.
catchphrases, I don't
Yeah.
care.
I really don't care about much.
No.
If it doesn't affect me personally, not saying
Yeah.
I'm selfish, but if I cannot physically do anything about it, I don't need to bother about it.
I can agree.
Yeah.
Well, you can always do something, but
Well, I could go to Sandy Hook, but I can't now because it's late.
You wouldn't be able to see the
No, I
school
don't
when you were there,
think.
though, because it was all demolished
Oh, there you go.
afterwards.
afterward. Yeah.
Oh, there you go.
The school's been demolished.
School's
So you
been
couldn't even
demolished.
you couldn't even see if there was bullet holes in the walls or blood
Nope,
stains,
it's gone.
things.
They-
Oh, there we
they
go.
got
You
rid of
should
the
have said
school.
that part as well.
Yeah, I know. This is why I like discussing shit, because then you remember facts.
Yeah.
Facts.
Facts.
But they linked it to like when 9/11 happened, and they cleaned up the World Trade Center site pretty sharpish.
Yeah.
You know, there was no time done for investigation there either. They just shipped off all the, which is bizarre in my
Well,
opinion.
not really.
No,
Do you
yeah,
think,
I'm
do you
with
think
Jess
they'd
on
want to
that.
investigate?
Well, if something happened in, I don't know, London, touch wood, if someone blew up, Houses of Parliament, they're not just going to leave it there, are they?
Well, there's got to be an investigation
Yeah, I
into it.
would think they
But
would have
You
investigated.
can't just
But they didn't just
Well,
like...
especially where the Twin Towers were, it was literally in the middle of the city.
shut
They're
the
not
city.
just going to leave
Oh, yeah. that-
shit
And
about.
it's not like they did clear it straight away. It took a while to clear, so there must have been like other bits
Instant.
and other remains that they didn't. What was that?
I said no, I was just joking.
And there must have been other remains that they were investigating whilst they were moving stuff away. I think that's a bit far fetched.
I don't know, man. Apparently, they didn't even investigate for explosives as well in the 9/11 case. People heard bombs.
Yeah, because I watched a few documentaries. Again, it's like someone else's view.
Trying
twist
to
yours.
make you believe it. That's
And
why I
about-
don't. That's why I don't like conspiracy videos, because they're only showing their point of it.
Yeah,
They've got an agenda for sure.
Yeah.
but about how the towers kind of collapsed.
Yeah.
The way they apparently collapsed was like level
Straight
by
down.
level,
Yeah.
which would imply that they were
Explosives
triggers,
on
yeah.
each.
I believe that was explained by some architect of why
But
that was
they were
rubbish.
supposed to be built like that though.
I,
is another
again, I
thing.
don't know when
I think they were supposed. the way they were built, like most skyscrapers, is if something happens, they're not gonna
I was gonna say, do you
fall.
just in case it blows up? I'm gonna
Just in
create it
case.
like this.
Yeah.
Why just make sure it doesn't blow up?
I think they are. I think they're meant to implode rather than explode.
Yeah.
So that could blow that theory out of the water.
No, okay.
You just blew that.
Just
your
blow
own
your own
theory.
theory out the water there. Yeah.
An interesting thing about Sandy Hook. Do you know about this? It was in
Batman.
You bastard!
Oh,
It was in the
forgot
Dark Knight.
about that.
It was in
Yes.
the Dark Knight Rises.
Yeah,
yeah.
There's a
And the
pic-
guy in the cinema.
Yes, I will pop a picture up now.
Yeah.
And
I forgot about that.
It was
I was looking for the picture. Putting the picture up now. I was like, oh,
there it is.
And
See,
it's
there was a
circles.
still shot from the film when they were had what I'm looking at now, walkie-talkies and some tasers. And a map, and it says Strike Zone 1, and then next to it Sandy Hook, with a red circle around what looks like some kind of area. Of
Was this
maybe
when
a school.
Bane was plotting or
Dark
something?
Knight Rises is the Bane one. Yes.
Yeah. See, this is why I love Sandy Hook, because it's so like rich with, you can go down loads of rabbit holes and you can find little things. I completely forgot about that. But yeah, I think I saw a video where some guy overlaid the maps as well, and it is the actual area map of Sandy Hook that was used in the film.
Is it just not coincidence? Same with a lot of things. It just happened.
No, I think obviously Christopher Nolan was the orchestrator
I
of
see.
the shooting.
And Christian Bale.
Christian Bale
It's just-
played Adam Lanza in the official. In the official.
Tom Hardy.
But he was one of the
Doesn't matter,
children.
no one
He was the
understands it
coroner.
either
He was
way.
a coroner. He was the coroner making jokes.
We found a gun.
That was really good. I quite like that.
You should have won your mask. It's enough mocking.
Speak of conspiracy, and it shall appear.
Is that still your Penalth voice, is it?
Yeah, my Bane Penarth. Yeah, so yeah, Christopher Nolan knew all about it.
Okay.
Okay.
I think you.
I think that's just a coincidence, but I just wanted to bring it up.
But isn't it? This is my point. I'm kind of like Dale. I don't really pay attention to the news because it doesn't really affect my day-to-day life. I mean, it's sad when you hear about things that happen,
Yeah.
but I'm like you. If I can't do something about it, I don't know. There's nothing you can do, is there?
Yeah.
Which is why I find all these things so they're interesting little coincidences, and that's why I like to look at the coincidences as opposed to just think that the truth is what we've been told, because that's not interesting to me. It's boring.
I do avoid the news. I find myself constantly reading the Daily Mail, and I'm like, why?
Oh God, you don't, do you?
Why? Just because it's online. But
Right.
I just think, why am I reading this? Because it's just doom and gloom. It's just sad stuff.
They hate
Yeah,
they
that's
hate
what I'm
everything. They do.
Everything is
But it's,
doom and gloom.
well, it's the same with anything. It's the same with magazines. You could buy one magazine, buy another magazine. It's
And it says-
exactly the same content. It's just
Yeah.
worded differently.
John
And it's the
magazines
same
piss
shit.
me off.
It's the same shit in either.
There's those celebrity gossip magazines. They wind me up so much.
Really?
Half of that
Oh,
is
they
just
really
made up,
do.
though.
Like the
I know, and that's why it annoys me. It's just like, oh, those poor. I feel sorry for some celebrities, like when they're photographed on the beach or whatever. And
Looking all fat.
yeah, but even though they don't,
But
it's just like
it's just taken an angle.
just like oh, she's got this curve. Oh no,
Yeah.
it's just, oh, it winds me up.
Yeah.
Just like I hate the whole body image thing, and I believe in positive body image, you know, with plus size models and all that. And there was that model recently. I can't remember her name, but she was. What is that saying that thin models like to say?
No.
Nothing tastes better than.
Put
Skinny
the fork
feels.
down.
Yeah.
What?
Tastes better than skinny fit. What did you say?
Oh, you're so
Nothing.
horrible.
What did you say? All I want to hear.
Nothing tastes better than putting the fork down. Is that what you
I just said put the fork down. Just close your mouth.
What was the actual saying?
Nothing tastes better than skinny feels,
Yeah.
and I just hate that. I think that's disgusting. And
I kind of think it's true though. Not that you should tell people this, but I definitely think that if you are in a healthy body yourself, that outweighs the taste of junk food.
Yeah, but the whole
You know?
thing with
but this is
And I'm a
body
junk
im-
food eater, so I
But the whole thing with body image is someone telling someone what's healthy.
yeah, I don't think that should be a thing. Nobody should
No,
come
no.
and tell you what to do with your life. But I mean, from a personal point of view.
Yeah, I'm always trying to better myself.
Yeah, trying.
That's not because
yeah.
anyone's told me to. I
Yeah.
just do it for my own.
But I'm not like
Go for it.
discrediting. No, it's just stuff like if someone says, "Oh, I'm going to be," this has just turned into a different topic now.
Yeah.
If
This is what happens in podcasts.
If someone says, "Oh, I'm doing this because it makes me happy," is it not subconsciously because something's told you to change?
No.
No?
Oh.
Do you not think this could kind of go into like the Illuminati stuff with like the media and
Again, I don't follow media.
Back to conspiracies is Illuminati is supposed to have what's like control over the media, but that would tie in with like body image.
Yes.
So like magazines that published by whoever to tell people buy these skinny pills or buy this makeup so you look better.
Skinny pills? They advertise that?
Well,
I know there's like girls who bought diet pills online. It's sort of like a shady website though, and there was that girl who overdosed and unfortunately died. And don't say that's a conspiracy, because I'm pretty sure that actually happened.
I'll look into it.
Okay. But I agree with you on. I mean, my main issue is I wasn't even considering the Illuminati. I got to be honest. It was just the whole body positive image and how the media still portrays women to look as they do, like supermodel, and just really skinny. And it annoys the hell out of me because it's just. I just don't like it.
Yeah, but why do you have to listen?
Because it's everywhere. You
Yeah.
can't get away from it.
Why do you have to listen?
Yeah, I get away from it.
What do you mean I don't?
No, why? Like just because it's everywhere.
But people do listen. That's the problem I have.
But that's their fault.
but that's what I mean subconsciously. Maybe not so much yourself. If you're confident and happy with whatever you're doing, but there are people who would try to avoid it, but it just gets into your daily life.
And especially with social media the way it is, and young impressionable girls who would want to look like their favourite celebrity or whatever, and go to extreme lengths to do it. And I just think it's really bad. But I know what you mean. You don't care, and
Really don't.
and you stay away from it. But that's not to say like all other girls do. Some girls.
The girls, you calling me a girl?
Yeah.
I'm a girl.
Yeah.
Oh shit, I didn't know that.
Sorry.
Sorry.
That's
You're
fine.
not tucking very well.
I think I should let my girlfriend know.
Tell them about Mooty Tucks.
Do you have a girlfriend, Dale?
Yes, I do.
Oh, you never mentioned that
Yeah,
before.
no,
Okay,
I really
cool.
haven't.
It's just him.
Yeah, I'm my own
Just
girlfriend.
half and half, so when he goes home.
Kirsty, if
Can
you're
I get back to
listening,
my
please prove them wrong.
Can I get back to my point?
No.
Yeah.
Yeah, go on.
Yeah,
Oh, well, actually, I think I made myself clear.
yeah. But the thing is, like the models you see in magazines that's not a healthy representation of what a human should be either.
No.
They're
No.
so skinny.
absolutely, that's my
it's-
point.
Yeah, like I completely agree with you there.
Oh my god.
And yeah, I know.
We should stop now.
And like
Explain.
like men's magazines. I don't think it's just women either.
No,
men's
it
magazines.
really
Oh, yeah,
when
I
you
agree
see-
with-
it's
yeah.
not.
They like because I listen to a lot of health podcasts and stuff like that. Apparently,
Just
I don't put any of it into. What are you trying to say? Clearly, none of it's going in. You dick.
Carry on.
But apparently, when you see those photo shoots where all the abs are showing and they're like ripped to shreds, they're on like 4% body fat, which is pretty much near death. Like they dehydrate themselves so
Also
much.
bodybuilders.
Yeah, they just get rid of all the water. Like literally, they're close to dying just for that photo
Just to
shoot,
look good
and
in
then
that
they have
photo.
to go and rehydrate.
But
So there's definitely like negative.
What's a good body fat percentage?
I think it's between. I might be wrong on this. It's around 10 to 12 for
Yeah,
men,
'cause
and I think
I'm-
15 for women. Women are slightly higher than men for ideal body fat.
I done a BMI thing, and I'm 12%, I think it is, and that's like 1 point off excellent, like body fat for my height and weight
12%. Yeah.
and age.
12% is like.
So I don't think I'm
ideal.
skinny. I'm skinny, but I'm not horribly thin.
Slim.
I'm
You're not-
slim. Yeah, I'm not horribly skinny at
Wraith-like.
all. Wraith-like.
Waif like? Race
I
like?
think wafers food.
Okay, so the average for men is 18 to 24, and women 25 to 31.
Is that the
Well
ideals or the average?
This is the average.
Average,
Alright.
Yeah, that's probably average, but not ideal. I think ideals are like 10% less.
Yeah.
Because the last time I checked, I was 30%. 30% of my body
I've got
is
one.
fat.
I've got an idea.
Tell that to your burgers then.
Okay, so what age do you want to know?
Me? Huh?
30s.
Just for men, generally like
Okay.
Yeah,
adult
it's
men.
got by age.
So by
Alright,
age.
say 20 to 30 year olds.
Okay, so
You're
oh, so
horrible
30
person.
30-year-olds
Fat
12.7.
For males.
Yeah,
What
is
about-
excellent.
Yeah.
That's the
I thought that
ideal,
was-
and 19.3 for women.
Okay.
And 20-year-olds a lot less, 8.5. And 17.7 for women. And then they fluctuate with all the different ages. So I don't know what mine is, and I don't care what it actually is, to be perfectly honest. I feel...
I was
feel-
just
80%.
I was
No?
just interested.
Yeah. I find
'Cause-
stuff like that interesting
yeah.
as well.
I just don't like the way the media portrays it, and it is just like, you have to look like this. London did it as well, didn't they? They put a woman in the bikini and a poster in the underground, and people had a massive issue with it
It's
because...
money. It's all down to money.
But do you think there's something
Majority
wrong
of
with
stuff.
that? Because she was a healthy, fit-looking woman, and that's what
That wasn't-
that's
that
what
wasn't
that
the-
company is
That wasn't
trying
the
to
message,
sell.
though.
That wasn't their problem. They was like, oh, good for her, she's healthy. It was the, like, you should... Oh, it's just
Well,
like,
the
all
thing
women should
was-
look like... I can't remember what the slogan
It
was.
was like, is your body beach ready?
That was it.
And it was implying that.
You have
That-
to be like that.
You
You
have
have
to
to
look like
look
that in
like
order
that
to...
to
And,
be
you
on
know,
the beach.
there are some plus-size models who look fantastic in a bikini, and in my opinion, are beach body ready. And it made it seem like... Yes, I couldn't remember that word, so thank you for that. It made it seem that's the only body you should aim for, and I don't like that.
I can understand that because technically anybody should be beach ready because anyone should be able to use a beach whenever they want,
Yeah.
even if they do eat loads of burgers.
Not being like that.
Did you have a
know
burger
when
before you
to
came in?
No, I didn't.
Oh,
You
fair
had a
play.
smoothie though.
Yeah, I had a
Yeah.
Did I?
Yeah, you told me. You
Yeah.
told me you're
Yeah.
having a smoothie.
Yeah, I had a smoothie full of healthy fruits and vegetables.
Good
Nice.
for you.
There it was.
Yeah.
I'm gonna put
And
another
then
image up now. There it is.
someone wrote
and
on
somebody
there.
wrote "fuck off" at the bottom of the sign.
And obviously, again, they're selling whatever it is.
First of all, that is not beachbody
It
ready.
was
It's
protein.
Right.
definitely not. Well, it's
I
definitely
think.
not healthy in my opinion.
Really?
You
You
see
see,
wrong with that?
see her
She's got
ribs.
very
Look, see my
forward
ribs,
yeah.
shoulders.
You're not a woman.
You just said I was.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'd
can
say
have
she
a
looks like a
complex
fit
about
lady.
this.
Yeah, and I raised
She
my
doesn't
voice.
look-
You just said I was, love.
No, sorry. Yeah. So
She doesn't.
I
look
don't.
too
There's no.
skinny
I
to
don't
me.
see a problem with that.
No, me either.
I do.
You see what? You think that looks unhealthy or unrealistic? I
Oh,
think that looks
unrealistic, absolutely.
Oh, what?
I
I don't think that's
don't think
unrealistic.
it's unhealthy. I
There's
don't
nothing
think
wrong
it's
with that.
unrealistic.
Never said-
I
never
just
said
don't think
unhealthy.
it's
Just
the majority of the population.
But yeah, no one. You don't have to be like that. This is the thing. This is what I. Again, I just don't care. I don't see these fitness magazines and go like, oh my god, this told me to do this.
that's more like it.
There you go.
But yeah,
Another
but
image
that's
there.
fine. Also, I wouldn't say that.
Yeah,
was
there's
an
nothing wrong
instead
with that
of,
either.
That's an
No.
as well as.
Yes.
Well, it's
What they should have done is a selection
yeah.
of women.
Or just not do it at all.
But that's not what
Yeah.
the company's trying to go for. The company's trying to go for
They're-
lean protein
Well, they're
bars
trying
to get you
they're
in
trying
shape.
to sell their product.
Yeah,
Is what
And you
it
can't
comes
have
down
it. They
to.
can do what they want in advertising. You can't
Protein
have a go
World.
at that.
yeah.
That's the company, Protein World. You can.
Not a
Fuck her off.
sponsor.
I don't know.
What?
I think,
Not a sponsor.
No, not
yeah,
a sponsor.
I don't see a big problem with it. I think if people act the way they are supposed to eat, that's an achievable goal.
And I think people just want to complain about what they want to complain about.
Yeah,
Yeah.
People have an excuse to complain about anything.
Yeah.
professionally
Complainers.
offended. Yeah,
If you don't want to look like that, just don't worry yourself about it. You don't have to do it. Just because it's there, you don't have to do it.
Can I bring something out completely unrelated? It just came to my head this morning. Thorpe Park, you know the theme park Thorpe Park?
yeah.
Theme park.
Yeah.
Theme park Thorpe Park.
Yeah.
We're releasing tickets this morning. Did you hear about this?
Yeah, I tried
for
to get some.
Did you?
Oh yeah, told you about
For
that.
12p.
Yeah.
No, I didn't.
Okay, they were releasing it for this morning for for promoting Darren Brown. He's got a new ghost train there.
Oh, I liked it.
So they were, he's really quite. I love him as well. And they were selling 1,871 tickets for 12p at 10 a.m.
Mm-hmm.
So there I was. I had 5 tabs open this morning, like ready for 10 a.m. Just all ready because 12p tickets.
12p, yeah, bargain.
Promo code pasted. I was ready.
Yeah.
And so they advertised 10 a.m. They go on sale. The tickets sold out at 9:55. That is bad.
Conspiracy.
Yeah. I was gonna say.
What? No, kind of. I was going to say, what if that is part of his new trick?
Do you know, and this was the thing. I just thought maybe this is an experiment by Darren Brown
Yeah.
to see what people like. But then again, I don't really necessarily get the end goal.
Well,
See how
you never
gullible
do
people
until
are.
he tells you.
But will he? Because I don't. Because somebody. But will he? But somebody on Twitter. Because I was following this on Twitter, and people were fuming, a bit too fuming for my liking. I was like, I didn't get tickets. Oh well.
Bit annoyed.
What a shame. And I tweeted Thorpe Park myself. I said, great promotion, but you should really stick to selling them at 10 a.m. And that was everyone's issue. Yes, they didn't get the tickets.
What made you not try before?
Because it said
Because I was told 10 a.m. But I did keep
Yeah.
refreshing around 10 to and all that, and there was no option to enter a promo code. Nothing.
So maybe there's no tickets on sale.
So how did they sell out?
Because
Exactly.
there was no tickets
So
on
people
sale.
Because it's all part of a conspiracy.
Conspiracy.
By Darren Brown.
But this is
There was no tickets on sale.
let me
I
finish.
think it was a conspiracy.
People.
Chris.
If we go back to Sandy Hook.
Can I finish my point?
Yes.
Thank you. People were then tweeting, has anyone actually won? And, they haven't seen a tweet of anyone saying, great, I've got 4 tickets for 12p. So, hey, maybe it was. That was what I was trying to
Just trying to get people
say.
interested.
But
in
at the
looking
same time,
Mm.
well, yeah, but then
Maybe they took
that's
your bank
bullshit.
details.
I mean, that is going to backfire on you saying we're going to sell tickets for 12p, and they didn't. So what's the point in that?
Stuff like that. I like with competitions. Like you see, if you're watching a morning TV show in the morning called This Morning. I try not to say it, but they do these amazing giveaways, these amazing competitions. So I
Yeah.
think
Does anyone ever win those?
they supposedly have winners on there, but how would you ever know?
Yeah.
So how would you ever know if someone did buy tickets for Thorpe Park until you see them there with their ticket, but they could have been given the ticket?
Yeah.
And going
Something.
back to the TV telling us what to believe, how do you know that if they read out a list of names, they were like, oh, we had Julie Bennett from Milton Keynes won
Anyway.
this one, and Simon Forthorpe from Scunthorpe.
Going to Thorpe.
Going to Thorpe.
Go with
Yeah. Like, how do you know they haven't just made up a list of names on the thing? So all the people are like, no, look at all these people.
Yeah.
I won all this
Yeah,
stuff.
but
And
that's what I mean.
yeah.
It's
I'm agreeing.
good. Is that where that accident happened, or was that Alton Towers?
That was Alton Towers.
Okay.
Did somebody die in that accident?
No.
No, she lost her leg, the girl, bless her.
So her leg died.
Yikes. Yikes.
Yikes.
Ouch.
I will say,
I
the
think that was the quote that she said in the
I'm
paper.
terrified of rides, but Thorpe Park, I love Thorpe Park. That's
It was
the
fun,
one.
wasn't it? Yeah, it was really, really good.
Swarm is a wicked.
Have you been there, Ron?
I don't
Is a
think I-
wicked
I don't
ride.
think I've been to any.
Alton Towers and Oakwood.
I've been to
But never Thorpe Park.
No.
It's brilliant.
I want to go.
I went on the waltzes in Barry Island the other day.
On your.
I feared for my life.
Yeah?
Yeah.
What was it called, sorry?
That's because it's Barry.
Just the waltzes. I don't think
Are
they
they
had
even
an official
open?
name. Yeah, they've just built a new log flume down there, and they're in the
Oh.
middle of putting up their Ferris wheel.
Cracking.
Yeah, it's just a dive.
Yeah.
It
All the
is. I thought they were
pikeys.
getting rid of it.
They reopened it for last Easter, wasn't it? And
Yeah.
it was mental, I remember. Like, they didn't sort out parking, and it was completely
Yeah.
congested, and no one could get out of Barry Island for 2 hours.
Whoa.
Yeah, well, the
That
new
sounds
road
awful.
should be open soon because they're
Really?
building a road underneath. Nobody cares about this.
It's just
So, do you want to talk about your
Yes.
conspiracy
Let's do
theory?
it.
Because I
Oh yeah, conspiracies.
I spent a long
We've, yeah,
time
56.
jibber
we
jabbering
do
about
tend
mine.
to.
Overrun it.
Drift.
right?
Yeah,
Oh,
but I like that little tangent we went on.
It was good.
I enjoyed that little lively debate.
Body positivity.
And I body shamed
You fat shamed
I
me,
do
Jess.
apologise.
Ashamed.
And Thorpe Park's annoying.
I'm gonna start a Tumblr blog now
About me.
about you.
I'm actually going to follow up and see if they release any kind of statement and see the reason why, or if Darren Brown is involved. But somebody did tweet to me that my last point. Sorry, I don't think Darren Brown would want to get involved in such a marketing disaster, which I thought was quite a good point because no one's happy with how it went.
Maybe he.
What if
Maybe he.
that
Yeah, but
is
then,
it, though?
but they're not saying, "Oh, Darren Brown could be involved in this." It's not like
Well, how would he anyway? What would the point be?
Yeah.
Did he
Yeah,
subtly
exactly.
change people's clocks to 9:55 without people? I don't know.
just think it's bad. I just think that's bad marketing on Thorpe Park's part.
What was it anyway?
What's that?
What was it? The ghost train. It's just a
It's
ghost
just
train.
It's a psychological ghost train. So it's like a ghost train you go through and psychological ghost train.
Darling.
Have you ever gone on
What's wrong with that?
Hex
No, nothing.
Alton
It's
Towers?
just,
Yes.
things
Hex.
are going too far now.
It's
It
like,
should just be a ghost train.
No,
Well-
Yeah, but it's meant to.
psychological ones.
well, they
probably
kind of
make
are
you think. I think it's going to be like Hex,
Yeah.
to be honest.
Yeah,
It's
Hex.
all
I quite
dummy,
enjoyed
isn't
Hex.
it? I love Hex. Oh,
That was
I loved
weird.
It so much. Do
Yeah.
you know how it works?
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, of course.
Tell me.
Well, quickly, the story is you go into this haunted abandoned house. And this is the story. Yeah, sound effects, please. Sound effects, please.
Conspiracy.
And it's all kind of like tale about a witch cursing this guy, and the last. Okay, it's not working.
There's a tree.
There's a tree, and
She hangs herself from the tree.
yeah,
or...
that storyline. But
Yeah.
basically, the ride. It's not even a ride.
No.
You sit down.
There's a log.
Yeah.
There's a log in the middle, so there's seats there.
Captain's log.
Seats here, and
Captain's
it
log.
starts, and it feels like you're going round.
Okay.
You know.
So it's a bit trippy, but the whole thing.
An
is-
illusion.
You're
essentially.
yeah, you're doing this, and that's all you're doing. You're rocking back and forth,
Yeah.
where the rest of the room is spinning around.
But
Okay.
it feels.
Cause-
Out of my way.
Yeah, because everyone's like you're just sitting there.
That
This
makes
is back when I had long hair as well. Sorry, this is when I had long hair, and
displaying
yeah.
masculinity by cracking it.
yeah, this
This is when you were a girl. You had long hair.
yeah, then I had my sex change.
Yeah.
Yeah, so when I had long hair, me and Skeen, I think a lot of us went, and again we were just the ride's just doing this, and here's just laying on your
Yeah.
shoulders. But then you feel like, and the room makes you think you've just gone upside down.
Yeah.
But you look at everyone, and they're all perfectly
Oh,
sat
interesting.
up straight.
Is it nauseating? Does it make
Well,
you
Some
feel-
people can.
I
Has
checked my friend on there
yeah.
and didn't know she suffers from seasickness.
So
and I didn't know what the
vomited
ride was.
on the log.
She wasn't very well.
Was she sick?
No, but it was my favourite part, I think.
Yeah, it was an
Seeing
enjoyable ride.
everything.
No. Hex, just in general, it was good.
Yeah, I enjoyed it.
So, conspiracy
carry on.
theories.
Yes, of course. The one I picked because I think it's actually quite interesting and maybe even some truth to it. Maybe. It's called Paul is Dead.
Paul.
Paul is Dead.
Okay.
Paul is Dead is an urban legend and conspiracy theory suggesting that Paul McCartney of the English rock band The Beatles died in 1966 and was secretly replaced by a lookalike.
Okay.
Oh, there's loads of stories like this.
And
It's the
it's
first I've heard of it.
pretty cool. Yeah? First.
And
Well,
first I've
just
heard of the
about
Beatles.
other celebrity.
No,
You've
the
never
Beatles.
heard of the Beatles?
Yeah, no, of course I have.
I'm joking.
No, this thing.
Okay.
You
Yeah.
out-joked each other there.
Yeah. Oh, I got her. Oh no, she didn't. Oh shit.
This is from Wikipedia, just
Yeah.
so I know, so take it lightly. In September 1969, American college students published articles claiming that clues to McCartney's supposed death could be found among lyrics and artwork of the Beatles' recordings.
Mm-hmm.
Clue hunting proved infectious and within a few weeks had become an international phenomenon. Rumours declined after a contemporary interview with McCartney was published in Life magazine in November 1969. Popular culture continues to make occasional references to the legend. Paul McCartney himself has poked fun at Paul McCartney himself poked fun at it in a 1993 live album, titling it "Paul is Live,"
Oh, okay.
with the cover parodying clues allegedly on the cover of the Beatles' Abbey Road album. So that's all I got. No, I'm joking. I just think it's really interesting because I think there is an element of truth to it because the Beatles were so at such a height. You know, they were what everyone wanted to listen to. And can you imagine if like did he play bass? I think he plays bass. Should really check that.
It's
Okay,
an instrument.
I think he does. And can
think
you imagine
the
if they said he died?
That would ruin the whole media.
It would ruin the whole thing. So it's not out of the realm possibility that they replaced him with a lookalike. But then a lookalike sounded like a talent player alike.
But even so, if they found somebody that looked like him, they could just get somebody to sound like him behind the scenes to record the music. See, look how much I love conspiracy theories. I'm straight in there. I'm like, yep, sounds legit. Did he give any explanations to how he possibly died? Or has anybody come up with a...
Yep. A rumour that Paul McCartney had been killed in a car crash circulated in London after a January 1967 traffic accident involving his car.
Okay.
The rumour was acknowledged and rebuted in the February issue. Thank you. The February issue of the Beatles book Fanzine. Nice. But it's not known whether the rumour of 1969 is related to it. In the autumn of 1969, the Beatles, having just released their Abbey Road album, were in the process of disbanding. McCartney's public engagements were few, and he was spending time at his Scottish retreat with his new wife Linda to contemplate his forthcoming solo career.
Making veggie sausages.
Have you ever tried them? They're quite nice.
No.
Yeah. Okay. So I'm going to show you a few pictures actually of like the clues of why they think he's dead because what I read, like the gist of it was he was dead. They replaced it, but the band felt so guilty that they dropped hints in their album, and I believe on the album cover, Sgt. Pepper, had this image here. I'll just pop this here, and I'll pop it on the screen now. So on that, it says, on Sgt. Pepper's album, there's a flower arrangement that appears in the shape of left-handed bass, which is Paul's instrument. And look closer, and you'll see the flowers also spell out Paul.
I really can't see
And
that.
further, the ceased to
Oh,
be
yeah.
soul. Do you see it? So the flowers there in the shape of a bass. And then, sorry, Al, can you see it?
I can't, but I get the gist. I can see what you're saying. Yeah.
So is that someone's obviously filled that in at the bottom?
Yeah, and said, look, it looks like Paul. Ollie's grinning here.
Yeah.
Likes
I
this.
love it. I love it. All sorts of stuff.
Can
like
you see
this
it, Jess,
I
or not?
thoroughly enjoy.
Kind of.
Yeah. No, I'm not saying it's clear, but then they
I
don't
think
want
I
it to
can-
be
What's
clear.
I can
What's
see
the
it
part at
because
the
you've
end?
told me it's there.
The end part
Well,
looks like a
the
question
picture
mark.
told me it was there. I mean,
Yeah.
I
but
only found
if
this
I
out
looked
yesterday.
at that, I wouldn't have
Yeah.
seen it.
Well, if you just look at the Sgt. Pepper album, you go, there's flowers there.
I'd say it's boring.
Mm-mm.
I don't
Yeah.
You'd say
I don't
Fair,
really
okay.
care. I don't really care.
What's that end part then?
Sorry?
What's that end
Looks
part?
like a question mark
Yeah,
to me.
so like Paul?
Paul?
Is it Paul?
Is
Paul?
it Paul?
So yeah. There we go.
Okay. Got another
Now-
one?
Other things I enjoy about this. I said the wrong thing. What I don't understand about this is if
A bit of a difference.
if it's
You enjoy.
I enjoy not
misunderstanding.
understanding. Yeah. Is if it is like who's giving these clues for a start, and if it was a conspiracy to cover something up, who's letting these clues slip through the cracks? Like if it like the Illuminati thing, huh?
What?
What did you say?
I'm just saying words.
Oh, right, okay. You motioned over there.
I was just looking.
Oh,
Because
right,
the
okay.
Illuminati's over there.
Yeah, they're controlling.
They're watching you right now. Or?
Yeah.
Yeah. Like if the Illuminati are, if there is such a thing as the Illuminati and they're controlling the music industry and like, you know, they've been linked to Michael Jackson's death, there's also a conspiracy theory that he's not
He's
actually
alive,
dead, but
yeah.
he's alive.
With Tupac.
Well, he's now called, there's a
Well, he's
guy
hanging out
called-
with Tupac.
Yeah, I was just thinking. Yeah. Because there's one they think Elvis is still alive as well.
Yeah, that's
He'd be
another
so
one.
old though, wouldn't he?
And still fat.
Yes.
Even bigger.
Still on a toilet.
You never know. Could have gone to the wellness
Yeah.
centre. He would have been fine.
He's beach
He's
ready.
beach ready, man.
He's
Just saying.
Elvis is beach ready.
Elvis is beach ready.
Fair enough.
Right now.
Right now. Everyone is beach ready right now. If you're a human, you should be able to enjoy the beach no matter
what
what
size.
state you're in.
What state you're in?
Dead
Are
already.
you on about
Dead.
states like in
Yeah,
America or?
No, the physical state.
Okay.
If you're a complete mess, you should be able to. They should just have private beaches for those
You
people
were saying.
That's discrimination.
for the good of the
Yeah.
populace.
Right, carry on. Let's go. Go on.
Yeah, is if the Illuminati is in control of these, like Michael Jackson's death or potentially Paul McCartney's death, why do they let these little leaks?
Someone's doing a shit job.
You think there's some guy in the Illuminati offices who's just like,
And he's like,
they
oh.
let me through again.
You always do the same voice for everything.
For anyone who's got a low IQ.
Wasn't
that's
that
just his
the-
voice.
That was the name. That was the mushroom. That's how the mushroom would talk as well.
There's like just the Illuminati boss, like Jeremy. There's a
Jeremy
six
Illuminati.
slip-ups you've made this week.
Jess, that mushroom was referenced to another episode. You looked
That's
so
all,
lost then when we
that's
said
fine.
so. Mushroom? What the hell are they talking about? Sorry.
I think you've had some.
Mushrooms.
Yeah.
Didn't you have any?
No.
No.
No,
Shit.
oops.
I am all.
Dale, share next time.
So,
Another picture.
yep. What have we got?
It's called...
Is it Paul McCartney's corpse?
No. It's a gravestone, though.
Yeah, what's it say?
In the Yellow Submarine movie, this gravestone makes an appearance with the mysterious number 49 at the top, and below it spells "Here lies buried." And it's speculated that Paul has 4 letters, and McCartney has 9. This is stupidly.
No, I love it. Keep going.
and under it says "Person who lie." Sorry, "Here lies buried." So it says number 49, "Here lies buried." And so, like 49, Paul McCartney.
That's a
Here he
weak
is
link.
buried. I think it's. I know. I'm just saying. I'm just getting stuff up here. Have a
People
look
digging
at
in
that.
it too much.
Yeah. Some stuff.
Here lies buried. Here the lie is buried. Perhaps if they dig up that gravestone, they'll find the truth, because the lie is buried
Ooh.
underneath.
Hello.
Oh.
We're decoding some
Good.
That'd
conspiracies
be
here.
interesting.
But that wasn't a. That wasn't a film.
Was this before John Lennon died? When did John
Yeah, it was a
Lennon die?
Beatles film. So
Yeah, so when did John Lennon die in comparison
well
to
after
the
the 80s, I think. 80s.
Because he got shot, didn't he? By
He got
a
shot,
crazed
and I
fan?
Was it
believe.
Harvey Lee
Yes.
Oswald?
Yes.
No, that was JFK.
I don't know. I'm just saying
You
names.
said yes, yeah.
Did I? Oh,
Yeah,
sorry.
Lee Harvey
Well,
Oswald was-
he says
Yes.
right, so it's right.
Thanks,
I
Jess.
do think they're different people.
Wow.
Yeah.
You
Or
never
are
know.
they?
You never know.
I picked up, you probably noticed on the pictures it says Paul Death clue number, whatever. There are loads. I just picked ones I thought, it's quite interesting.
Yeah.
So this one, last one now, up on the screen. Don't look over there, it's not going to be over there, Dave. It says, on the cover of Sgt. Pepper's album, there are 4 wax figures of the younger Beatles pre-Paul's death. The figures of Paul, George and John are all the same height. But in the picture of them on the right, Paul is considerably taller than all of his bandmates. And this is a thing I looked at as well, pictures when he was with his wife. He was a lot taller than her. No, sorry, he was the same height. And then, next year, so much taller. Which I thought was quite
People
interesting.
grow.
Built up shoes.
People,
he had a late life
people do.
growth spurt.
People
And
do
built up
grow, Dale.
shoes. You might have had a club foot.
Shut up, lads. Had a spurt.
So yeah, it says, but the wax figures that were on the the wax figures that were on the album were made to the specifications of the 1964 Beatles, like Madame Tussauds,
Okay.
and they reflect what does that say? The analog's height in that era, while the picture on the right reflects the height difference between the original Paul and the fake Paul.
Can I take a look?
You may have a look.
You can see the size difference
Yeah.
clearly.
Again, this is all speculation, Ollie. I'm not
Perhaps
saying
they're
I believe in
indicating
it.
his ascension to heaven, and putting him up above the rest of them. I'm seeing things not
Do you
seen
think this?
before.
Yeah. Do you think there's any truth in it? Do you think he did die, or do you think it is just
Uh,
complete horse hooey?
I could understand what you said. The first point you made was that if he died at the height of their success, that would completely kill the
band,
buzz around
yeah.
them.
Mm.
So I could see the reasoning behind getting a fake one if he did die. It doesn't bother me whether he's dead or alive as a person. though.
When I said earlier, there's a few things. Well, I've heard of things like this with with different artists. So apparently, Avril Lavigne is now an actress. She actually died a few years ago.
Mhm.
Really?
Yeah.
She was
She
quite-
looks really
was-
different compared to what she used
she
to look
was
like.
ill. I think she had, I don't know if it was Lyme's disease or something. And so apparently she's died and now being replaced with an actress. Eminem also.
Oh really? I haven't heard that one.
Yeah, he's supposedly.
Oh, I like that one.
Some people say he's a robot, which that's just, yeah. That's just another story. But he's actually an actor, so he had drug addiction. So he apparently died, and they've replaced him. There's quite a few.
There are a few, and Sofa King podcast covered the Katy Perry one.
Yeah.
That was John
That-
Benet Ramsey, wasn't it?
Yeah, I like that
Oh,
one. That was
yeah,
very
yeah.
interesting.
She's supposed to be Katy Perry come back.
Yes,
Yeah.
I like that one. I think it's again. There's no proof, I suppose, and even if it was true, they're never going to admit it, are they?
No. But still super interesting to think about.
And yeah, that goes back to the point you made. If these people did actually die when they were, the height of their fame, companies would do anything to keep that going.
Yeah, so there was a little bit of it could have happened even back then, because
I know a lot of it
No,
is
that's-
bullshit, but
John Lennon died in 1980. So I was close. I did say 80s by Mark David Chapman.
not high.
How many letters are in Mark David Chapman?
Sorry,
How many letters are in Mark David and Chapman?
Okay.
why?
Because it'll probably come to some mystic number that proves that John.
Like 666 or something.
Yeah.
457.
7. If you take the 7, 1 away.
Okay, Rain Man.
Anything funny.
This
But
is
apparently
a
he
beautiful mind.
bumped into him and got his autograph before he shot him, I think.
Who, John Lennon's killer?
Yeah.
There was a weird happening around that, wasn't there? Like the guard that was on duty in the guardhouse had like conveniently stepped away or something, which allowed the guy to get into the estate and kill John Lennon.
What is that? There's a picture. I don't know if it was
I think it's awful.
the JFK or that there's a picture of a guy in the crowd who he was like on a mobile phone or something. Oh, I don't know if that's related. I'm sure you've probably seen it.
Was
There's
it like
this
an
black
old
and white
photo?
picture, and it's supposed to be in like the 50s or the 60s, and there's this guy who's
It looks like he's from the future,
Yeah,
essentially.
yeah.
Yeah, I've seen that.
Time traveller.
I think that was JFK.
yeah.
I think so. Let
Um,
me have a look.
yeah, Google that.
I think we shouldn't have wasted the first 45 minutes talking about Sandy Hook. We've just gone into loads of different conspiracy theories.
Well, we're doing it now. It's fine.
Yeah, we'll just catch up.
Okay.
You've got a question, Dale.
Your turn.
Yeah, as going back to Illuminati, you showed us a video on Illuminati before.
Yeah.
It's just
Most likely.
yeah. It goes into it's really far fetched. People are just grabbing at things that they want to.
Mhm.
Because there's that one that it showed us with Rihanna is apparently now been taken over by Illuminati because one of her the album cover or something like that is like when she's kneeling down with her hands in the air and it's red or something like that, and it's just like that's an Illuminati symbol.
Yeah.
Fuck off.
It
You're just seeing what you want to see.
Yeah.
And then what's it? Jay-Z's symbol of that?
Yeah.
We were talking about that in the
Doing
car. We were doing that in the car. So we
While you're
probably
driving,
looked
you
a
shouldn't
little
be
bit. Well, we were
We were
stopped.
stopped at a red light.
Yeah.
Sure you were.
Well, he's doing it up here. There's no eye behind it. So
But like, what did we
He doesn't
say?
do
It's
this,
just
does he?
like it's just a hand signal.
But it,
But and then you're like, but
yeah,
is
but
it?
Yeah.
And like,
yeah, it is
yeah.
just a hand signal, but like again, if you watch these videos that have the agenda of wanting to make you think that there is
Yeah.
something sinister going on, there are a lot of people that do these hand signals, and
Yeah.
they're not typical hand signals, you know.
But and then like the whole triangle over the eye thing is like to do with the dollar bill.
Yeah.
That is on the dollar bill, and then that's another part of it. But I find that interesting because that is such a broad. Yeah, like you said.
if you could just put Illuminati in everything, then.
Yeah.
Just
My
any
friend-
symbol.
Yeah.
My friend Laurie showed me a thing the other day where I can't remember the name of the flight, but if you type the flight number into Microsoft Word, the specific flight number into Microsoft Word, it was one of the flights of 9/11, and then change it to
yeah.
Wingdings.
Hmm.
It shows you a plane in two buildings.
No, it does.
Yeah.
What's Wingdings?
Wingdings is a
Wingdings
font.
is a font on Microsoft Word.
It's just symbols.
I'm going to find that now.
Wingdings.
I can't seem to find any picture with this mobile phone. Maybe it was a different event.
Time traveling.
Phone man.
Phone man, 50s, 60s, black and white photos.
Just type in like evidence of time travelers,
Yeah.
and it'll come up.
But I remember Ollie he sent me links to watch about Illuminati videos, and the more you kind of watch them or read about it,
Yeah.
the more you're like, oh, like maybe.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
It's so easy to get.
To be fair, Ollie has
Caught up
made
with
me
it.
consider things more because these guys will tell you I was a bit more. No, that never happened, and I was quite shut off.
Yeah,
but I'm
yeah.
more open to the idea now.
That's
That's rather
Or
spooky.
It's weird.
it's like
well, that was the flight number.
Flight number is Q33NY, and if you type that in and change it to Wingdings, it comes up with a plane, two things that look like buildings, and then a skull and crossbones and the Star of David. So people
Wow.
think that that's evidence.
We'll pop
of
that up on
yeah.
the screen now.
evidence of a Jew, like the Zionist conspiracy to control the world. There's so many conspiracies,
There is.
and I just love them all.
Joe, I just typed in time travel conspiracy photos on
Yeah.
Google, and just one of a guy who looks like Jay-Z came up with it. It's quite
Have you seen
funny.
Nicolas Cage?
Yeah. There he is. There's Jay-Z there.
Yeah.
Oh, hello.
Cool. What one about Nicolas Cage?
There's one. There's like a. An
He's the one in the middle, Jess.
yeah,
On
my
the right.
eyesight's so bad. Oh, yeah, he's just
They're all
similar
the same
features.
anyway, isn't it?
Black and white photos.
Yeah,
Black and
so
white
yeah,
photos,
they all look the same.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, there's one of Nicolas Cage, which is like an old sepia photo of an army general or something.
And John
it's the-
Travolta.
And is there one for
There's
him?
loads.
I haven't seen John Travolta, but it's the spitting image of Nicolas Cage.
I will find that for you now.
That's what I was gonna say. With like, yeah, you can see conspiracy theories and everything. There's like loads of analysis of like certain lyrics and songs. Like there's one with Nicki Minaj, and she's talking about the death of a family member, and it didn't actually happen until after the song was released. So stuff like that, and it's all about sacrifices to God.
Yeah.
You were saying about apparently Kanye sold his soul or whatever.
He
Oh,
sacrificed his mother, Kanye West did, supposedly. The idea is that for these artists that
And his
wanna
dignity.
and his dignity,
dear.
yeah. The idea is that people who want to become popular or like the superstars of the music world, they do a deal with Baphomet, who is the goat-headed god of well, that's the thing with the Rihanna.
All the things we
yeah,
talked
all the
about.
horns and stuff.
Yeah.
Of all the things we talked about, you like that.
I like gods and stuff.
Yeah. So,
Just not the Christian God.
In order to be successful, you have to make a blood sacrifice, which
Yeah.
is like a person that's important to you, and then you sign your deal with the devil. So Kanye West gave his mum, apparently.
To the devil.
Eminem gave Proof. You know Proof, the rapper?
Of course.
Apparently
I listen
he-
to all of his songs.
Yeah, apparently he had a song
Proof.
about Proof dying before Proof died, in
and
the
I-
same way that Eminem said he would.
And I thought that was always weird before, because, yeah, there's a song and I cannot remember what it was. And in the video, his best friend has been shot and dying, and then that actually happened after.
Mm.
And I always thought that was weird, because
Yeah.
the way he rapped about it, I thought it actually happened.
Yeah, so Eminem predicted the actual event of Proof being shot.
But then I think
Going back to your
in
Nicolas Cage thing, Ollie, there you go. There's the picture there.
Spitting
But
image.
that, to me, looks like a post-mortem
Photoshop.
photo.
Mm.
So
Which one, the one on the
Nicolas
right?
Cage has been resurrected.
No, that looks like a Victorian death photo.
It's a bit weird.
Jennifer Hudson, I think she was one that sacrificed a cousin. Didn't her whole family get killed?
Yeah,
Jennifer?
yeah. So the whole family got murdered.
Yeah, people said that was a blood sacrifice for her. Because what is she? Is she a singer?
Yeah,
I
she's
was
an
gonna say,
amazing
she's a
singer.
Who is that?
She?
She's
Singer
an
slash
amazing
actress. She
Yeah.
got an Oscar and everything.
I think she started on like X Factor.
American
she was
Idol.
in American
She came
Idol.
third, I think. How do I know about this? I don't know, but so yeah, she came third in American Idol. So.
But she's got an amazing.
And she's come she's done the best out of most of the winners.
Because she sold her family
To the Illuminati.
and now she's successful.
Wow. it
No.
works.
I tell you, try it. Who would you give up?
Jeez!
Me,
You just so you can have some fun with whatever.
With the
his name
Illuminati.
is, Yeah.
Or the devil.
Yeah. You
Oh,
can
man,
know
if I
everything.
would Baphomet.
Yeah.
I don't think that's the deal. I don't think I get fun.
That
out
would
of
be
it.
my
I become his like eternal slave.
Well, that would be my deal. I'd be like, he's really interested in this conspiracy theory. Tell him everything there is, and you can have him.
He wants to give it a go,
Yeah. Yeah. Sorted.
and you just get worldly success out of it.
Yeah. Of doing
I'd
nothing.
do that for you.
Oh, thanks.
You're welcome.
I'll enjoy it.
Oh.
Enjoy it in hell.
Enjoy it in hell.
So that's a lovely
Wow.
Yeah.
into that
Conspiracies,
topic, I guess.
man.
Yeah.
It's pretty
Conspiracies
crazy.
are everywhere. You can just go dig deep in them.
We talked. Sorry, I'm just looking at the Beatles again. We've talked about this though, about saying if you want to see something, you'll see it.
Mhm.
So again, it is just your brain just looking for these things, and eventually you'll see them.
I think anyone tries to find evidence that already supports their worldview.
Hmm.
So if you think that the government's out to get you, and
You'll find
nothing
things
is
about
as
it.
it seems, you are going to be like, yeah, man, the government's out to get me, and this is all the evidence of it. Whereas if you think, no, the official story is true, I trust everything, then you'll find evidence to support that as well.
But if you're like you're just like, I'm open.
yeah,
well,
like
yeah.
I don't care about any of it, but I find it incredibly interesting to think about.
Hmm.
Like the Michael Jackson one, we talked about it slightly earlier, where Dave is supposed to be Michael.
Dave.
Has he got
Dave
stuff
Dave?
out?
Google Dave.
Okay.
He's a guy. He's a burn victim, yeah, and he's terribly disfigured, and apparently people think he's Michael Jackson because it was an incident when Michael Jackson got burnt on stage by some pyrotechnics
It was
during
a
like the
Pepsi advert and his
Yeah.
hair caught fire.
and apparently people think that it was
That
at that
is
point
Michael
he was
Jackson.
disfigured. I don't know,
Yeah.
but people now think that he is Dave, and they've done
Do you-
like
do you think
analysis
that?
of his eyes.
Oh,
no,
and
no.
say
Why-
it's the same.
That is.
Why
Also,
didn't they
I think
bother
it
to
was-
give him
no.
a proper name? If they're going to go to those lengths to say that this guy is actually Michael Jackson, he's just a burns victim now, why give him a boring name like Dave?
It was Julian at the Illuminati.
It's not even a boring name, it's a terrible name.
Oh, type this voice. Sorry.
I don't think the Illuminati would employ that guy.
You're trying to
He's-
tip X the
he's-
screen.
He's like Baphomet's son. So
Adopted son.
Yeah.
good job. Kanye West like, right, Baphomet. I'll put him on name generator.
Dave.
We've got Dave. Oh dear.
Oh.
That's why. That's just weird.
Yeah. Have you seen him though?
Yeah, just have a look then.
Yeah.
You can find interviews of him on YouTube where people are speaking to him, and his voice sounds uncannily like Michael Jackson.
Yeah.
The way, the tone of voice and everything.
High pitched.
But like the same floaty, Michael. And Dave. And apparently,
Damn, Daniel, that's my.
No.
Damn, Daniel. Apparently, his eyes are very similar as
Damn, Dave.
well. Yeah. Did you see the Michael Jackson ghost video?
Yes.
Where
It's bullshit.
What you
Next.
What you mean?
What you mean,
Because
boy?
he doesn't believe in
What do
ghosts.
you mean it's bullshit? Where you see like the ghost walk through his house.
Yeah, of course you did.
No, you've seen it though.
Yeah, I've seen the video.
What would you say it is then? If you think it's like I don't think it's a ghost because I don't know whether ghosts.
But why
are
did they
real.
think why did they think it was the ghost of Michael Jackson? Because it was in
Because
his.
he
in
was
his house.
moonwalking.
He was going backwards.
He
Was
went-
he?
With a hat like this. Yeah. Ooh.
Grabbing his ghost crotch.
Yoo-hoo!
Yoo-hoo! I'm still here.
Yeah, but that was weird, wasn't it? Because there was definitely some sort of video anomaly there. Have you seen the video? There's
No.
like a news reporter in one of. He's holding his microphone, and he's in Michael Jackson's estate, I think. And behind him, you can see like a shadow walk across the doorway, and it looks odd.
I love watching the ghost videos.
Yeah.
I love. We talk about this quite a lot.
Just to see if they're
like
real
the
or
afterlife.
well. Again, I don't trust anything on social media.
I've always said if it happened to me and I believed I saw it, then yes, I'd believe.
Yeah.
But just again, like Dale just said, media. The news could have thrown that in.
Why would they throw in a
It's
ghost?
a slow news day.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. No, yeah, I like that you're thinking that way because that's the way I think.
Mm.
It was a slow news year in Sandy Hook, so they just decided to throw in a school shooting.
That's completely different to maybe seeing a ghost.
Just
Let's just check.
Ollie, that's completely different.
Dave. Let's just check. Let's just put him in by ear.
Ollie, again, that is completely different to a whole staged, in inverted commas, shooting. Just an image of a ghost.
A lie is a lie is a lie. Doesn't matter how big the lie is.
Wise words. A lie is a lie is a lie is a
A
lie.
lie is a lie. Is a lie.
Eliza
Wood.
Doolittle.
Oh well, there we go. That's all I have to say on the subject.
Everything
I
is
love conspiracy theories. Trust no one. What's the X-Files slogan?
The truth is out there.
The truth is
Trust no, the truth is out there.
But don't trust anyone.
but don't trust anyone.
Watch X-Files.
Trust your own self. Trust your feelings.
Can you trust yourself?
Is this like an important lesson at the end of the podcast now? Trust
Yeah.
yourself and trust
Yeah.
your
All
feelings.
these
Be good to
important
each other.
lessons. Yeah. Trust your own feelings.
But what if they're completely wrong?
Yeah. What if you're...
What?
What's the name?
Who's to say they're
Jeremy.
wrong?
Yeah. Who's to say?
Well, if the outcome doesn't end very well for you, you were wrong.
But were
Got an
you?
example?
No, the example I was going to say would ruin the film you just
My
watched
life.
and your life.
Go on.
No.
No,
Some people
I
haven't
think
seen
I know
it.
where Jess is going with that as well, yeah.
Okay.
Me too.
Alright,
We don't want to spoil the film for Dale.
Thank you.
By the way, that was 10 Cloverfield Lane. Very good film. Please check it out.
Mhm.
There you go. Well, we're at an hour 25.
Yeah, but we had loads of...
We had 10 minutes of crap beforehand.
Loads of nonsense
Yeah.
at the beginning. Right, what else do you want to talk about then?
I saw Batman vs Superman today.
Yeah. Tell us about that, Chris.
It's terrible!
Yeah.
Oh, I really did go in with an open mind. I actually read reviews, just like summaries of reviews of what it was like, and I just thought, wow, okay, it's not getting the best look, but I said I'll go in with an open mind, and very underwhelming, and just utterly disappointing. It had good moments. That's all I can say about it. But there's like 3 of those good moments.
And they're all in the
Are
trailer.
are you guys planning to see it anytime soon? I won't spoil it.
I will see it, but I don't care about it
Yeah.
particularly.
I'll
They-
probably forget.
Yeah.
I will.
Yeah.
I'll watch it.
You'll watch it. Fair enough. Like
If
I said,
I
I won't
can-
spoil anything,
Put
but
together.
they're very. You can tell it's very rushed. They really are trying to keep up with Marvel,
Which they won't.
exactly, which they are struggling. It is evident, and the director Zack Snyder is just not a good choice for the whole universe. He's more of a visuals director. I get that. He makes things look really nice. He's had some lovely looking films. 300, Watchmen, very nice looking films. As far as story and character development go, no, he's not good at it at all. And this was one of the big things that I didn't like. There were some very good ideas in Batman vs Superman. There really were, which should have been explored a lot more. Superman is given nothing in this film. It is mainly Batman. It looks like Zack Snyder hates Superman, even though he did Man of Steel. It's just like he's.
I did that as well.
Yeah,
That was crap.
Did he do Sin City?
no, that was Frank Miller
Frank Miller. Okay.
and someone else. I can't remember who.
Yeah.
So yeah, there was so many good ideas, and I went in really wanting to like it, and when you go out after, I watched it with your brother all, and he was just like, I'm not sure what to think of that. That's what he said, and
Deflated.
yeah, and I said I do. I
Anticlimactic.
just didn't like it.
No.
Didn't love it.
I find Superman
I
boring.
do think.
I didn't hate it.
I think they're trying to keep.
I want to say.
You sure?
Oh no, I want to say I didn't hate it. There are much worse films out there, but it was just a bit. No, that was that then of all the promotion. But Warner Brothers shot themselves in the foot with the marketing, and because they just showed far too much before releasing it. I just think the whole build-up wasn't good, and Batman was the best part of it,
Yeah.
but only in certain moments.
Is he going to
and
get his own film?
More than likely, yes.
And I heard Wonder Woman was like the highlight. Apparently, everyone was praising Wonder Woman.
Yeah, she was alright.
Massively.
Is it Kirsten Stewart?
Kristen
that-
Stewart.
Or was that
No.
a rumour? That was
No,
a
her
rumour
name
that
is-
she was going to be Wonder Woman.
Oh no,
Is it Gal Gadot?
Gal Gadot. Her name
Who
is.
is she? What's she been in?
She was a model, and she's
Gilgamesh.
model turned actress.
Who's Gilgamesh?
Is she beat
I know that
Freddy?
name.
He's the Smurfs.
Was she beat
I thought so.
Well,
Where
that's
did I know that?
Gargamel.
Gargamel?
Gargamel.
Different.
Cross conversations.
Yeah.
Sorry, Jess. What was your question?
Was she beat Freddy?
She definitely was, but she wasn't necessary for the film.
Oh.
She wasn't.
Nah, not in my
What do you mean?
opinion. She didn't need to be in it.
And again,
Yeah,
everyone's
this is
saying
what I
that
think.
Women, eh?
everyone's
Yeah.
saying that it should have been a surprise if she's in there.
Is that what
You
you're
know,
saying?
because
I did not
well-
feel surprised once in that film because, and
You knew what was
I
coming.
don't seek out these trailers. Like, I went to the cinema to see 10 Cloverfield Lane, and the trailer was played before it.
Mm.
oh, 10 Cloverfield Lane.
Really?
Yeah.
That's so stupid.
No.
Why?
No. The trailer for Batman was played before 10
Yeah, sorry.
Cloverfield
You
Lane.
said
Oh.
The trailer
For
for
10
Batman was
Cloverfield
Oh
played
yeah,
before
because
it.
the way you said it,
Yeah,
you
sorry,
went
I-
to see 10 Cloverfield
Yeah.
Lane and the trailer was showed before it.
Yeah,
It's like,
that's what I
that's
thought.
Ollie, do you what I meant?
Yeah, I get you. Dumbos.
I'm talking about Man
The
of
way
Superman.
you
Why would I just go straight on to...
Because you went
Anyway.
But yeah,
I-
I think they're trying too hard. Because, like I said, when we last week when we were talking about the Spider-Man showing up in the Captain America trailer, it
Yes.
got me excited to see the film as opposed to
I may
spoiling
go
it.
and see
Yeah,
it.
because they only showed a slight little snippet,
Yes.
and I think it was very well done.
Whereas in the Batman vs Superman trailer, they showed practically all of Wonder Woman's scenes.
Yeah, and I
And-
think they're trying to keep up with. We need to get as many big heroes as possible
Yeah.
in this film to appeal to us.
I've stopped watching trailers for films.
Yeah, me too. Well, no, I
Yeah,
I just
spoiler.
if
get
it's
bored
on-
it. You're like, let's see this. I'm
There
like,
are
okay.
only like a few trailers that don't spoil things. Star Wars was a notable example. Some of them, do keep surprises and stuff like that. But a trailer is meant to get you excited for the film. Batman vs Superman never did. I was just more curious to see why it was bad or why it was, why people were giving it low reviews. And I would have obviously you need to get your own opinion on these things. I will say this for my final thought of the film: if you've seen the trailer, you've seen the film.
Fair enough.
okay.
That's how I feel.
Someone told me that in reviews this is the best Batman.
Okay. Do I agree with that or
Yes. What do you think?
No, I don't think he's the best Batman. I think he's very good. But I don't
Who
think
was?
best Batman? Oh, Bale. Just because I love the Christopher Nolan films so much. I mean, nothing beats The Dark Knight for me.
I was watching a review of all the Batman films listed from worst to best, and I think number one was The Dark Knight, and number 2 was the old Tim Burton one with not Val Kilmer,
No, Michael Keaton.
Michael Keaton. Yeah, they were saying, and I'd forgotten how good those films
Yeah.
were because I grew up loving.
Because
Tim
they're
Burton.
dark. Like,
Yeah,
what
but
Batman
still
is.
funny. Yeah, like the Joker, Jack Nicholson's Joker was great. In
Yes.
that. So yeah, I might go back and watch that one now.
Yeah, not to say... Ben Affleck was best part of the film, I reckon.
Yeah.
Everyone was really worried about him being Batman, myself
Give him a
included.
chance.
Yeah, I did. Like I said, I went in the film with an open mind, and I was like, fair play, it wasn't bad. But it did... Again, the films... You can't just have that one moment to make the film good.
Oh yeah, no, I
The
agree.
film needs to be good as a whole, and it wasn't. It was a bit of a mess.
Do you, or have you read the comics?
No.
So when you're watching a Marvel or DC, film, what what makes it good for you? Because when I watch them, I think I do watch it more for the visuals. I enjoyed the storyline, but I went to see Deadpool and I really, really enjoyed it. And my friends who went to see it with me, they weren't picking it apart, but they were saying, well, this was wrong or this wasn't very good.
Is that because they've read the comics?
Because Dan, he loves films and he knows a lot about films and about the universe. Not just in general. So he could see issues with it. So when you watch it, how do you watch it?
I'm quite critical when it comes to watching films. I'm not going to lie, Dale and Ollie know this about me. But I do. Yes. Visuals, yes, absolutely, they help. But it's very low on the list for me. I look at story, I look at character development, I look at direction. Are you shaking your head there, Dale?
I just watch a film to watch a film.
Yeah.
But you don't care if it's true to the comic because you've got no notion
No,
of what
because
the comic is.
Okay.
Exactly, yeah.
Yeah.
As long as it's a good story and it's portrayed correctly, then I'm happy. I do do a bit of research after and check what the comic's like. Because I've heard, the Civil War comic is completely different to what the film's going to be. But I'm fine with that because I've got the knowledge of the universe of cinema.
Yeah.
Marvel films in my head. So that's the story I follow. So I think, like you said, a lot of comic book fans do go, I like Deadpool just like you. I thought it was great.
Yeah.
It was a good, enjoyable film. Happy with that. And I like the fact I'm not comparing it to the comics because you have to take them both as different things.
Yeah. I've been making fun of John all week because he's been looking forward to seeing Batman and Superman.
His palms were sweating before it started.
How do you know?
He told me.
Wet dick.
He went.
You Spider-Man and you.
Who's dead? All right. Went on his pop.
No, he told me. He just said my palms. I'm really sorry, John. He just said my palms are sweating. He was excited. That was good.
That's good. Yeah.
To get excited before a film. But that was not a bad thing to say.
No, I know. Never mind. But I've been making fun of him all week because I'm constantly saying Marvel's better than DC.
Okay.
And he raised a very good point. He was like, to me, which again, it was just like banter. It was bants.
Lads,
But
bants.
Yeah.
Hashtag bants.
Brother
Yeah.
bants.
Brother man.
But he was like, you're gonna miss out on so much stuff if you don't try and enjoy everything. And I think that's the problem with people that come to comic book movies with a preconceived notion of what the comic book is.
Yeah.
Is I go to see a Spider-Man film and I love it just because I see him swinging through New York and it's just spectacular and it's just like gives me a rush of like, yeah, go Spider-Man. But if I was like, his web shooters aren't.
I thought you were going to do the
comic
his web shooters.
No, that's my incompetent voice.
This is your
critical
critical.
nerdy voice. Is,
man of many voices.
He
Yeah.
He didn't have webbing between his arms. Shut up. Right, just go and watch the film.
Yeah,
you can enjoy the comics and enjoy the film as a separate entity.
No, I agree.
Yeah.
I completely agree with you on that.
I think you're doing yourself a disservice if you go in with a... Well, I think you should look at anything without expectation. Because expectation leads to disappointment.
Like life, really.
Yeah.
It's difficult too, though. I mean, when you're so excited for a film like I was for Star Wars, that was proper built-up anticipation of God knows how many years, after the disaster of the prequels. So it's hard not to get excited. But luckily Star Wars paid off, and I absolutely loved it. Saw it 4 times.
I think when it's a world that's being created, that's when I watch the film with more visuals, like just how it's been, filmed and like the costumes and everything. But when it's, say, like a horror film, that's when I pay attention to the character and the storyline.
Okay, yeah, that's fair.
And I think that's probably why I don't necessarily get scared by that type of film, because I'm not really paying attention to the scariness of it. That's because we watch a lot of horror films. Yeah, and a lot of the time it's not... I don't know, it is more on the story, but Marvel and DC is more...
About the spectacle.
That's a great costume.
Yeah.
Right.
How have they filmed
I got
that?
you. I understand.
I actually felt tense in Cloverfield Lane today.
Yes.
For one of the first times in a long time seeing a horror in the cinema.
Really?
Did you not see the shift in it? I was going down.
You were eating your raisins.
Beck was watching it behind a coat. She couldn't. She was actually really terrified, and I came out of it, and I even texted her. I was like, "Well, I'm never sleeping again." I was shook. I thought it was great.
Never sleep with
When a film can do that to you,
That is a good
film in my book.
Yeah.
No?
I wish I could get like that.
No, fair enough.
I wish, but
You jump quite a bit. Sometimes.
yeah, I do jump, but it's because someone jumps out of a cupboard or someone's just like there.
Ollie, have you scared Jess in the past?
I
But
don't think I have.
the only time I said this the other day, the only time you've jumped out at me a few times.
Spider-Man.
Yeah.
I've never
Was
done
it
that.
you?
Yeah.
Was it you in my cousin's old house? You were climbing up the stairs. And I was coming out the kitchen, and you were just there on the stairs. And I'm like, what the fuck are you doing? Anyway, no. Yeah, horror films. I wish I could get scared by them.
A good film for me is how, if it makes you react in any way.
Yeah.
So, if it's a sad film, it makes you cry, and that shows that it's a good film.
Yes.
So this is,
If you're basically, the way I see a good film is if I leave the cinema with a smile on my face, like, I've really enjoyed that film.
Mm-hmm.
That's if I leave with no expression at all, I was obviously
And you
bored.
forget about it.
Yeah, I could just 5 minutes away, I'd just forget everything.
Mhm.
Yeah, and if you're still thinking about it, like I was still thinking about Cloverfield the next day,
Yeah.
yeah.
and that's a good film.
I don't know whether
I'm
I
probably gonna
keep
forget.
films in my mind like that. I
Well,
think I've
this is
already
different
forgotten
because
a lot
you
of
don't
stuff
like
that's
films as much
happened.
as me. That's the
Yeah,
difference. Because
yeah.
I
just
love
like
films.
What's the scariest horror you've seen?
Oh, I've got two.
Go on.
Come on.
No, someone else can go first.
Scariest horror I've
Scariest
ever
horror.
seen.
Like, first time I watched Paranormal Activity, I had to watch it in the daytime.
Okay.
I had to
find-
pre-watch it.
I find that amusing. I do.
Me and my brother and a few friends had planned to watch it that evening, and it was a quiet day in work, so I pre-watched it to know what to expect, so I wouldn't look like.
Oh my god.
Oh,
So I watched
you're one
it
of
during the
those.
daytime preparation to watch it at night with the boys, so I wouldn't look like a wuss. And I'm glad I did, because I found that the first time I watched that film, twice, I found it unnerving. It was. I love the way that film plays with like the daytime, nighttime thing. So
Yeah.
it gets
Bit like
daytime and it
Bridget.
relaxes.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. It relaxes you, and then you see a nighttime scene, and it's instantly like, oh shit, what's gonna happen?
Yeah.
And I love the way that on like for 5 nights, nothing happens.
Yeah.
And
Something would
it
the
lulls
time
you-
would speed
yeah.
up. They might go
Yeah.
for a sleepwalk.
It lulls
Nothing
you
really
into a
happens,
false sense
yeah.
of security, and then bam, she gets dragged out of bed by her feet.
You just ruined it for anyone who's not watched it.
It's now on 8.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know.
They're on, like,
It's only a film.
We
What was,
saw-
what
we
was
saw
yours?
Paranormal
I
Activity
honestly
and,
haven't got a
huh?
clue.
I saw the last one in the cinema.
Which one was that?
The
I
one
have-
when they find the tapes.
Which one, sorry?
Oh, with all
The
the,
last
black
Paranormal.
stuff.
Oh, yeah.
That was shit.
Like the black
So what-
goo that was in the air.
Yeah.
What
so-
film scared you, Jess?
I wouldn't say scared. I can think of 2 awful films.
Awful.
You asked the question. No, who asked
Yeah.
the question? Oh, sorry. Yeah.
Yeah.
You said you had 2 in mind.
I want you to make me feel better about my scared
I
self.
think the films that the 2 films that I've watched, which I still think about and I still really, I want to watch them again, are The Orphan
Mhm.
and The Orphanage.
Orphan, Orphan was really
So-
good. Orphanage, the Spanish film.
Yes.
Yes.
Those
Both
are
really
2
good.
Very good
Both
films.
really good.
Yeah.
The Orphan, I was really surprised at. That was
Mm.
really good.
But I don't know if that stuck with me so much because my mum was so freaked out about it.
Just cut the first half out. It's all bullshit. It's fine. I've not seen either of them.
Well-
you keep
Good.
recommending them.
I
to
got
me.
The
Good.
Orphanage on 2. I've got it twice, so you can have one
You
copy.
bought 2 copies.
Yeah, because I forgot I
No,
had it.
they're really good.
All right,
I enjoyed
I'll-
those.
If you want to
Yeah.
lend me one, I'll watch it in
Um,
the daytime.
Okay,
Yeah.
one of the films that scared me. Okay, not first time round, but when I watched it by myself in the night, that is when I got scared. Which was The Ring, Japanese version.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay, it was just I was by myself. I was watching it in the garage, which is converted into my cinema room, pretty
Mhm.
much. And it was just it was pitch black outside. I was just there by myself, just sitting on laying on the settee, and this film was on, and I started getting creeped out, so I actually turned it off. But this was when I was about 15, or whenever the first
Yeah.
Ring
Yeah.
film was out.
Hmm.
Well, that obviously the Japanese ones are older.
Was it subtitled?
Yeah.
I'd like to think so, otherwise I don't know
Otherwise,
what
we'll have a
the
go.
hell is going
I've
on.
no clue.
Yeah.
Did that make you? Do you think subtitles made you? Excuse me. Concentrate more on the film because you had to read it.
Not
Whereas
really,
If it
I
was in
can-
English, you could have been like.
What's weird is I I can't stand. Obviously, I can't stand reading. I'm quite a slow reader.
Yeah.
But watching a film with subtitles, I'm fine with.
Okay.
Don't know why. I
Same.
I can see both straight away.
Yeah.
So, there was a film called, I believe it was Toolbox Murders.
Okay.
Cheapy, quite cheapy, low budget film. But again, watching it as a kid or not an early teen, there was this one scene in there that there's like a guy with this like disfigured face and like I'm not sure if it was like a mask of human flesh, not like Leatherface, but it was not like Leatherface.
Okay,
It was
yeah.
something different. He had a really like disfigured face and there's all like nails sticking in his head or something.
Mm-hmm.
And someone was in like a restroom cubicle and like trying to hide away from him, and the camera saw his feet, and then his feet go away, and then all of a sudden his face just went poof, and just stared right dead at the camera.
Yeah.
I don't like when they look dead at the camera because it looks like it's looking at you.
Yeah.
So I got really creeped out through the cover over my head, and I could just, whenever I closed my eyes, I could see that face. So that really creeped me out. But that was when I was about 11, 12, 13.
Were his feet still on the floor?
No.
So he just flipped his head upside
No,
down.
so again, like his feet, he showed his feet walking back and
People's
forth.
elbow.
I think he's like banging on the door, and then his feet he walked away.
Yeah.
All of a sudden, then his face was just right there.
How acrobatic.
Yeah.
Leatherface fucked me up for a few years.
Leatherface is
Yeah.
easy.
I remember watching the original Texas Chainsaw Massacre.
Yeah.
On, I think wasn't it banned in the UK? I think.
Some,
think so.
Yeah.
some
And my
of them were.
my friend Lewis, who turned out to be a cousin, distant cousin.
Turned out to be like
Your
a
brother.
copycat.
Yeah. Turned out to be Dave.
So,
Yeah.
yeah, my friend Dave, he had his. It was so weird. He was like, "Come around my house. My nan's got a VHS copy of his Texas Chainsaw Massacre." And we were like, "Oh,
That's
cool." Yeah.
Whoa.
So we had a couple of strongbows. and
Do you
we
want to tell
slept over.
the audience what a VHS is?
What does it stand for?
Visual
Don't make a station. What does it actually stand for?
VHS.
video?
I will have a look now.
Yeah, look. But we
Hi-fi
watched it.
system. I don't know.
High fidelity.
That's a film, I think.
Yeah, that's a great film. But we watched it. We had a bit to drink, and like 5 of us watched it in his living room, and everyone fell asleep with the TV still on. And I woke up in the morning. There was a cartoon playing on the TV, which was a little guy on a motorbike. So all I heard was, and I properly, like, that half
Shut
awake,
yourself.
half sleep state. I
Yeah.
was like, "Fuck, what's going on?"
Yeah.
And then woke up and realised it was fine. But it was weird. Like none of the boys would go to the bathroom in the night because they were too scared. Because
Leatherface.
we'd watch. Yeah, like he's gonna be there.
Yeah.
Because that's obviously based on a true story, isn't it?
I think it was based on true events.
Yeah. But it is. I know it is.
Okay.
VHS stands for Video Home System.
Oh.
Easy.
Easy.
What's DVD? Digital versatile disc.
What's
Yeah.
Blu-ray?
You just Blu-ray.
Okay.
Favorite horror or?
I don't really watch horrors.
I don't watch horrors. I don't get scared because it's just a film.
You don't get. Do you watch them?
Yeah.
Do you like them as a genre or?
No, not really. But
That's my favourite genre.
Yeah.
they don't scare me because I just know they're not real.
Which is why I prefer films like Saw and Hostel, because
I just see them as pointless
It
films.
could happen though.
Yeah, absolutely. But again, I just see the moment like, well, that's fake. Oh, they did that. I look at it as a film. I don't.
Yeah.
I don't like leave and go, this could be real. But I'm not saying because I wouldn't say scared, but just very tense and very like shaken by 10 Cloverfield Lane. I was like, whoa. But then as soon as I left the screen and walked home, I was fine.
It's more the situation and the subject matter that is, though, isn't it? Because you feel like you're
Exactly. Yeah.
Is
And that
it
could
gonna
definitely happen.
come
And
to
that
you?
was more like how humans act when they're in the confined space.
Yeah.
But I don't particularly watch them or get scared because I know they're not real. I detach my mind from reality and just know it's a film.
How
Yeah.
do you know ghosts aren't real?
Sorry?
How do you know ghosts aren't
I
real?
don't know ghosts aren't real. I choose not to believe it.
Haven't you seen the Michael
But-
Jackson video?
Yeah.
Yes, I have, yeah.
So
The,
you
um,
talked about
so you
this.
should know them.
Yeah.
They're
Is
real.
this deja vu?
Yeah.
Yeah. He broke deja vu again.
I
Dale.
broke it again,
Jeez.
yeah.
They're real.
But Leatherface is real.
Is he?
Well, anyone could just put a mask on and run down a thing with a chainsaw.
Well, it was based on a guy called Ed Gein, I think, was his
Yeah.
name, and he actually did Not
those things.
Yeah, he killed women.
Hmm.
Made, I don't know, tights out of their legs.
Lovely.
Yeah.
What a sunny way to end the podcast.
Yeah.
Top guy, Eggy was.
Yeah.
Shall we call it there?
Yeah, we can do. If you
Wow. That was a marathon.
That was all over the place. That was going through everything.
I enjoyed it. Did you guys enjoy it?
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
Well,
think-
thanks for coming on, Jess. Did you have fun?
I did.
Would you come again?
I would.
Yay!
What?
I was gonna go. Oh yeah, by the way, Sofa Kings, like they did another shout out for us, which is wicked. I like the Sofa
You're gonna
Kings.
inflate their egos.
Okay, I can't remember if I said this on the last podcast, but I don't listen to any podcasts. But now I never had. I didn't even know about podcasts until we started doing one, because I don't really care about anything. I can just keep saying it. But I've been listening to the Sofa Kings and I'm really enjoying it.
Yeah.
So it might actually get me into other ones, such as Joe Rogan and this movie Bites, or
Yes,
whatever
absolutely.
it's called.
Well,
But,
if they are listening to this one, please do an impression of Dale. I'd love to hear that one.
I just don't care.
Yeah. Just hear you all say I don't care. That'd be quite fun.
We
This day would be made.
And an
and
impression of Bane.
yeah.
Hear it.
We in their podcast they asked us for some nicknames, British political nicknames, which, to be fair, again, I do not
We have no
follow.
idea.
I don't follow politics at all.
We have no idea about British
What do you
politics,
mean
so
nicknames?
What they was like, what did they say? Shadow Chancellor and stuff like that.
Minister.
Yeah. Do you know of any? I couldn't care less about
Cabinet
politics. I gotta
Minister.
say.
I don't know. There you go.
Cabinet Minister.
Yeah.
Mayor, I don't know.
Yeah.
Cool.
Lord of Transport.
I believe Cabinet Minister's one of them.
Cabinet.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Lord
Cabinet.
of
Why-
Transport.
There you
I
go,
don't
Cabinet
know.
Minister. We got
I'm just
one.
Lord of Transport. That's a good one.
He's the Lord of Transport. He
The Lord of
he
Transport.
has a. Is it a trident? Is that what?
That's Neptune.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's got a trident, and he rides about on top of a double.
There you go. There we are. We're giving them a few, Dale.
Transport.
Wicked.
There you go. Sweet.
There you go, guys. If that helps at all, but I don't know anything about politics,
Same here.
so I do
Lord-
apologise.
Lord Ahmad of Wimbledon was appointed Parliamentary Under-Secretary of State for Transport and Parliamentary Under-Secretary of something else. So Lord Ahmad is the Lord of Transport.
Is
Lord
that a real
Ahmad.
thing?
Lord Ahmad.
Lord
Here he is.
So what we got? Lord Ahmad,
Chappy.
Cabinet Minister, and
His trident's held outside.
The Shadow Chancellor,
Shadow
which
Chancellor.
they
there you go.
said,
There
Okay.
you go.
which I really like that
Okay.
one. So
Here we are then.
Okay.
there you go,
Yeah,
guys.
great episode. I apologise for the first half hour.
Ah.
I found
We
it-
did spend a bit on there.
I found
Yeah,
it very
fuck it.
interesting.
It's,
Just cut it
it's
out.
all good.
Cut
Just,
it out.
let's cut now.
We're at 2 hours.
Fantastic. Wow. Okay, well, thank you very much all for listening. Please follow us on Twitter, on iTunes, on SoundCloud, and on YouTube as well. All at Backwine Podcast. And Ollie and myself have personal Backwine accounts as well on Instagram.
I probably will do
And
eventually.
Dale will eventually. Backwined Ollie, Backwined Keegan. So yeah, if you can follow that, follow us, ask us any questions, that'd be great.
Yeah.
But if,
Again, give us some stories, give us some suggestions. That's what we need.
yeah,
Yeah. So enthusiastic.
I am.
Cool.
Excellent. So
Bye
thank
then.
thank
Oh,
you.
by the way, I'm not gonna say.
Yeah, I've had enough now.
Okay,
Yeah,
okay,
it's
I'll say goodbye now.
Where's that?
Thank you all very much. Good.
No, carry on.
Thank you all very much for listening, and goodbye.
See ya.